Toby staying away.
I told you, bro. He's lying. You're dead meat, kitty. He was like, he's a spy, man. Let's eat him. You're dead meat, kitty. Yo, I just love that movie, dude. Oh, man. He's lying. You're dead meat, kitty. All right, man. I think we're good.
You know, so
Yeah, I think so. Let me pull up the YouTube chatty chat.
Hola, gringos. Can you say pussy pop?
Can you hear that? Stupid, yo. Oh my God, can you pop that pussy?
Hola, gringos. Can you say pussy?
All right, let me. I'm gonna mute my mic to see how it sounds on YouTube. Hold on.
Okay.
Can you say pussy pop?
Can you hear that? PlayStation. He's like, oh, I just love that movie, dude. Okay, yeah, it looks good on YouTube. I can't hear what it sounds like. Josh is checking it out right now. Oh my goodness.
Huh?
What did she look like in the
Hola,
picture?
gringos. Can you say pussy pop?
Can you hear that? Let me see. I'm gonna look it up really quick.
are you looking it up?
I might as well. Yeah, because I remember, like I said, man, when I first saw her, like after a couple of years.
Yeah.
I don't know. She had a bit of a glow.
Oh, I'm back.
A bit of a glow up.
Yeah. She does look more like grown, I'll say. Like, she looks like more like her kind of body filled out, like a little bit grown. So she looks prettier. Like,
What kind of shit are y'all talking about?
and that's the thing, bro. Girls learn how to.
Josh was like, "What are you guys talking about?"
Talking about women.
That shit sounds sussy.
No. There was this.
Somebody filling out. Wait a minute.
No, there was this girl, man, that me and my friend Emmanuel went to school with, and at the time, she was just average. You know what I mean? Like, she wasn't like ugly or anything, but she wasn't super pretty or anything like that. But I had seen her probably, I don't know, like a couple of years ago, and I looked at her again. I'm like, oh my God, she kind of glue up, man.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh God.
Fucking anime shit. All right. It looks like everything is cool. Everything's running on
Yeah, I'm
YouTube.
about to tag everyone in the Discord.
Wasn't I sit ready when it started? You bitch.
Get ready. All right.
Getting ready for the holiday. Even though I don't celebrate it, but I didn't know I didn't work on Christmas. I'm so used to working every fucking holiday under the sun.
You plan on getting some holiday dick?
Hey!
I mean, no judgment here, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit! Nah, my mic is a little different, so I'll probably sound different. Oh well, whatever. Everybody else sound like shit anyway, so
You sound just as partly annoying as you always do.
yeah, that's why I'm beloved.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, Josh? I love you, man.
That's sussy.
Yo, nigga, that's
Real
kind of
sussy.
sussy, bro. But know what I'm saying? I mean, I kind of love you too. Know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a little sussy, but whatever, nigga. Like, I like you too, bro.
We should respect the people's time.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Nigga, that's your schedule. It's
Nah,
your
dude,
topic.
the first topic was the limits of next gen, bro. That's all on you.
Blaze. You the one came with the first topic. Anyway, mine was last.
We're going in chronological order.
What do you say? What this time it's going to be in order? This time maybe I'll be bulletproof.
He's like,
all right, so what should we talk about first? The limits of next gen or weird acquisitions?
I think we should talk about the limits of next gen.
You're so sick. A piece of shit. At any point in time, Hector, you can jump in. Yo, DeAndre, what's going on? Ready for the RDNA 8?
What's going on, everybody?
Let's get this shit popping. Let's get this. What was it? Let's get this popping. So I have to start the fucking topics. And this one's going to be the limits of next generation. We were actually, me personally, I was looking at the, just wondering how far is this next generation going to go? These graphics. Welcome to the PlayStation Culture Spaces / podcast. And these are your hosts. You got Duba, Ken. How the fuck you want to be fucking announced?
You could just call me Ken. I don't care. Ken.
You can call me Gamecast. Gamecast, motherfuckers. And this is the co-host Gamecast. We're going to get this shit popping. So we got 3 topics to talk about. What are the limits of next generation? Like how far are we going to go? Weird Sony acquisitions, but just talk about Sony's odd choices. And then we have an off topic we're going to talk about as we do every fucking week. Drip for the ladies. We're going to talk about what the ladies like and what we believe the ladies like. So we're going to get this started. Next gen. Everyone was impressed by the Unreal 5 engine. Shout out to Magnificent Black and his obsession with nanites all over the damn place. Now, I was actually talking to Ken over a couple of days ago. And I was saying the reason why I was really big on, graphics and shit like that is because, I wanted to be a programmer. I studied a lot on PS1 and PS2 and how they functioned. And then that shit just was a runaway train. I don't know what the fuck they're doing nowadays. Well, I do, but the other shit is kind of like way over what I would ever be able to do. So there's that. Either way, Jemiah, yo, what's
I was
going
just
on?
about to address him really quick when you were done yapping. Are you gonna help me? Or are you gonna keep yapping? I'm gonna keep yapping.
Because in my personal, what do you say? Because in my professional opinion, the changes of an improvement or something like that. I forgot what he said. As a Jack and Dexter reference, I'm sure DeAndre would know about that since you have Jack in your handles. I synced it.
Yeah, that's correct.
I synced it on my shirt, guys.
I saw it.
Yeah, funny.
So I was looking at, everyone is like fixated on this UE5, right? And of course we have John. I'm about to combine people's names. We have Jemiah in here, and he always talks about the computer scenes and stuff like that. And what are we able to achieve this generation? Yes. Before Jemiah pops the fuck off, we already know the PC as a more capable platform. We just talking about engines in general. That's all we're talking about. And so, DeAndre, I'm gonna start with you.
Okay.
Where do you think we're going to go this generation? Because we're only 1 year into it, and I'm sure you probably keep up with what Mark Cerny said.
Yeah, I watch him like probably so many times a day whenever he talks.
Hold on, wait. You know I gotta do this.
What?
It's dangerous to worry about tear bumps.
Yeah, it is. He didn't lie about that. He says dangerous to rely on T-flops in order to determine power. And you know what's even funny? Even my PC friends who only PC game, they told me the same thing when I bought that 3080 Ti. Just because it says 34 T-flops on the box doesn't mean it's going to be the most powerful to play every game. I was like, oh, there's more to it.
So let's backtrack a little bit. Let's just go to the PS2 era, right? That you like Jack and Dexter. Mm-hmm. One of the things that they were doing with the PS2, they had limited VRAM.
Yeah,
limited VRAM.
Was it like one? Was it? It wasn't even a megabytes. Was it 128 megs?
No. So it was 32.
32 megs. All right, thanks.
And 4 of those megabytes were not of those, but an additional 4 megabytes was allocated to video memory. Very fast video memory. So one of the things that Dreamcast actually was really good at, it had a bigger VRAM cache. I believe it was 24 megabytes for everything, system memory, and then 8 for video RAM. And that's why you had Sonic had better textures, and all the games typically had better textures. But
wasn't because was the Dreamcast at launch running games at a higher resolution than the PS2?
Yes, because it had more VRAM.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I was going to mention the PS2 was able to output certain games like at 1080i, such as Gran Turismo series running at 1080i.
See, I'm not going to sit there and gas anyone up. It wasn't really, the ratio was basically 1080i, but it was not 1080i pixels.
Yeah, and I stands for interlace. It's 30 frames refresh on left and right screen like a CRT television.
Well, it would interlace. It would go, because think of it like blinds. So each, like, I don't know, slit, whatever the fuck you want to call it, it would interlace in between the two.
Yep. It flashes. This splits the screen half, like vertical, left and right in half, and every 30 seconds one would flash, and the other 30 seconds the other one would flash. So it would flash every 30 seconds, every back and forth.
That's how they would, due to perception or our limitations of perception, they would flicker back and forth to create a image, basically an image. We wouldn't notice it. It would look a little bit grainy.
Yeah, it did.
But here's the thing: it still wasn't 1080i either. It was not only skipping pixels in those like lines, it was skipping pixels throughout the image. So yeah, the ratio technically, like how it filled the screen, was 1080i, but it was it was still like fucking, I would say a little bit higher than 480p.
480i.
So it was 480p, or probably like 500, something of that nature. But it looked good.
And they just upscaled.
And they just upscaled the rest of it. It looked good. But back then, what Sony ended up doing with that piece of hardware, it was able, the memory, the video memory. Let me see if anybody, are you keeping a tab, Ken, on who's trying to go in or talk or anything?
Yeah, I'm looking at it already.
Because I can't see.
Yeah, I'm looking at the YouTube and I'm monitoring it.
So one of the things that Sony was able to do with that fast memory, because they couldn't just stuff everything within that memory because they didn't have enough. So they would use a lot of the system memory. They would put most of the assets inside the system memory and then have the DVD stream from the disc to fill up the system memory. And from that point on, the video RAM was so fast that it would build the environment in terms of the wallpapers that they overlay on polygons.
Yeah.
During a frame. It would flicker all that shit during the flame. It was that fast. Yeah, and that's why it was causing that's why it was causing complications, but things that tried to emulate it. At the time, there wasn't anything fast enough to handle that. And they could do like really cool tricks, like have a crazy amount of transparencies, particles, glass, all sorts of crazy things. But the biggest thing that generation was open world games. They were able to achieve open world games due to the system being able to actually render an entire environment, however way you want to do it.
I thought it was mainly because of the having a DVD as a storage unit, so that way you can have all the data and assets.
Nope, because you know what was open world back in PS1 days? It was Driver 1 and 2. They were open world games.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I remember that. But I thought it was so limited though, because I did play that when I was a kid, and going from the garage, trying to get the perfect driving skills, and when you go outside, the environment, the cities were there, but they didn't render large scale. Like when you could look at a distance, the field of view, it wasn't there. It was very close. So if you get close to it, it pops up, and as soon as you look away or turn, it just disappears.
Yep, that's called draw distance, and that's not because of video memory. That's how many objects the system could actually render on a screen.
Yeah.
So back then, you could probably render, 10,000 shapes on the screen at once and a certain amount of textures. It went from 10,000 to 500,000.
I didn't think it went to 500,000 until the PS3 era. Are you talking about polygons now? Polygon count?
I'm talking about the entirety. You may be thinking about characters. I'm talking about the entirety of the world and inside the memory. Not being rendered at once, but able to have all of that in asset. So I'll get to that in a second. I'm just kind of throwing out arbitrary numbers. I can't really remember.
It's cool, man.
It's been a long fucking time.
We talked about 20 years ago, but I thought it was about game engine and game design.
It used to be like, it was a lot. Let me just take a look at, see how this shit sounds. My bad. Because YouTube be tripping.
Cool, man. It's
been a long Okay, cool. All right, cool. Just making sure everything was good. All right.
It's all Gucci.
So one of the things that the PS2, actually it's funny because the PS2 was able, one of the things that the original Xbox was able to do that the Dreamcast, GameCube, or PS2 was not able to do is it had shaders. And shaders basically was a beefed up texture. The textures, the actual texels is what they call it. The pixels on it, on a texture, it was able to
make hair follicles.
Nope. Just think of a flat texture, and each pixel that makes up the design of the texture, each pixel had assigned a direction, which means that if light was shown onto it, it would be able to. You could be able to tell
lighting.
You could be able to. You could be able to tell like if it was high or low. It had extra information. So, and you were able to light the environment per pixel. So that's what it was able to do back in the day. The way that the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation and Dreamcast and the GameCube was able to light, it was lighting the polygon itself. So you would have triangles. If you ever play Silent Hill 2, you would see like shards of light because it wasn't able to light things per pixel. And that was one thing that the Xbox was able to do.
That's true.
If there was one game that used normal maps that the PS2 really shouldn't be able to do, but because of how fast the memory was and how highly programmable the vector unit 0 and 1 was able to do, they were able to create their own version of normal maps, which the Matrix Path of Neo, ironically, had normal maps. If you ever picked up that game, you'd be able to see that shit. Also, fur physics or the fur graphics. I remember Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
What was the other game? Like the fur effect in terms of it was the Star Fox game on GameCube as well. They had this crazy fur thing.
I'm playing that on the emulator. I noticed that. I was like, hold up, that's a lot of fur for a GameCube game.
Well, people were able to do that because of the high transparency account. They were able to do that with the PlayStation 2. And the game that had the fur effects was Shadow of the Colossus. But one of the biggest thing that they had for PlayStation 2 was motion blur, blurring each frame and interpolating it based off of, velocity. So it had really smooth effects. Metal Gear Solid 2.
Shadow of the Colossus did a good job of displaying that shit, man.
Yeah. It was one of the first games that instead of just blurring the image and it never took into account how fast the camera was moving. That was one of the first games that took account how fast the camera was moving to create that blur. That's why it was so realistic.
Yeah.
And before I close this out, I just want to make sure I set the stage since this is my topic. If you played Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, one of the things that they did was extremely hard to do was to fade from one scene to another. They were able to do that with a form of motion blur, but keep the frame on screen while they put another frame on top of that and blur them together. So like you ever see movies where it just fades into another scene? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like think about, you have like a boat and then the camera pans up and it fades to another scene, that type of shit that they do in movies. That was one of the reasons why you were able to do it. So more cinematic experiences. PS3 introduced across the board shaders. And one of the other things that it introduced as well, which Shadow Colossus did a lot of shit that wasn't really supposed to be doing, was post-processing imaging. So you were able to put a filter on the raw image and create like a cold look or a warm look, which was really big back in the day. It made things look like a piss filter is what they called it. That's when all these developers were kind of inexperienced on how to do it. But shaders, normal maps, parallax occlusion mapping, which makes the textures, it's a step above normal maps. It actually will occlude pixels behind other pixels, even though there's no real like geometry. And then we got to PS4, which was basically all of that. And PS4 allowed.
Wait, could you go back to the PS3? Because you gotta let them know with the cell processor, since there was 9 cores, allowing like the cell itself allow multitasking for AI, and like games like Resistance, how they had so many enemies on the screen all running in like real time because of the cell processor. It was like, hey, let's give a whole bunch of work, and just like dump out all the AI, just let them interact with the environment in real time. That's something like previous consoles couldn't even do. I don't even think even the original Xbox was capable to have so many people on the screen at once like that.
It's not about how many AIs. I was trying to speed through it because I thought it was being boring, but apparently not.
I just like the cell processor. Sorry. I know PS3 did a mistake, but that processor told me everything in IT that I do today. But go ahead.
So the cell processor had 9 processors, 8 co-processors, and 1 main one. So that 1 main one typically was supposed to delegate the 8 processors. 2 of those processors were rendered disabled due to yield issues. So in total, you had 7. One was for the operating system, and then the other one was disabled.
The ones that are yield are just extra, just in case if a cell dies, it can always turn. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, so one was disabled, just in case when they were fabricating the chip, if there was a mistake, it wasn't a complete waste. And then the other one was delegated to the entire operating system. The problem with the cell processor is that it didn't have a lot of memory for cache.
No,
not even that. That's system memory. But for the actual processor, you have cache, so it can hold, certain instructions. It barely had a large cache for that. So it had perks. It was extremely fucking fast, but 2 things it didn't have a lot. It was basically somebody that smoked a lot of weed and their short-term memory was fucked up. That's basically what it is. They can be as smart as they want to be, but if they can't remember the next step, then they have to be constantly reminded what the fuck to do next, and that's what that main processor was for. Mm-hmm. The other limitation was when you feed data the program to the actual cell processor, you had to do it in a certain order, which they called in order processor. You couldn't just create the code and say, for instance, if you do algebra, 1 + 1 = 2. And if 2 happens, then something else happens, right? That's how programming works on a very rudimentary level. You couldn't just give that to it. You couldn't say, if you get 2, then do this, but 1 + 1 = 2. You had to always say 1 + 1 = 2 so you can get that value, and then you could do something with that value. If you did not do that, the entire program crashed. So
it didn't support arrays? Like you can have like categories, and each category will actually trigger based off of the circumstances?
Nah, it was very limited. It was so limited. It was very limited from what I understand and what I read about it. So if you programmed, and it helps people nowadays because really programming supposed to be, you're not supposed to just throw anything at it. It's pretty, If you can order your program or order the instructions within the program properly, then you can get a lot better yields out of it in terms of performance. But you had to be cognizant of putting it in order. That's why it was so fucking hard to program for. Now, when it comes to AI does not take up that much processing power. The thing is, because you can have a really intricate program and it'll be in a kilobytes. So you don't need anything crazy. The thing is, because Grand Theft Auto had pretty complex AI. The Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and especially San Andreas, how many AI on the screen, how much AI on the screen at once was the determining factor. And what the cell processor did was you allowed to have a lot of AI on the screen, which actually there was some PS4 and Xbox One games that actually performed worse when they were porting it over because of the cell processor. You know what I mean? They were GPU heavy, but not CPU heavy, as we all know.
Do you have an example of a game that was ported over and didn't perform well from a PS3 to PS4?
It was the Assassin's Creed game. I can't remember which one it was.
Black Flag?
I believe so.
I had that at launch for my PS4. I didn't have problems because Grand had a more locked 30 at 1080p than the PS3 version, which was 720p. And it had actual better lighting for like the water effects and physics.
Yes, because those consoles were actual. Those consoles were actually GPU heavy. But what I mean is that on a kind of like a testing bed, you can have more AI on the screen at once on the PS3 versus the PS4. So they scaled it. So they scaled it down just so it could run. What do you say?
I was just saying. I think I'm gonna definitely double check that though. Like I do believe you when it comes to.
You probably won't even see it in practical terms because this was just like a kind of like a test.
But I believe you though, because like the core processor of the cell was still more powerful than the PS4's.
That's why it was very difficult to render. So
yeah, I do.
That being said, and it's good. I mean, like I said, this information is old. I don't really dive in it like I used to. So physics was really big in the PS4 days. Physics, whether you have particle physics and all the other stuff, that was really good. So
I thought it was all about the polygon count, man. Those textures. Whew.
For which game?
See that Shell Colossus remake and that freaking Horizon?
Oh my god! About that. Well, that's the thing.
That's what I thought. PS4 was all about them graphics, those textures. It's just infamous. All the polygons.
PS4 was about like that's what I'm saying. Like the PS4 was about how strong the GPU was at the time.
Yeah.
So you can have a lot of particles on there. So a lot of games had sparks or leaves or some shit blowing in the wind, smoke, without it actually fucking up the system. There was that situation. There was higher res textures across the board because you had a lot more memory. That's what was so big deal about 8 gigabytes, even though I believe 3 of them were reserved for the OS. I can't remember anymore, but that's what it was. It wasn't completely 8. And then the resolution was able to be sustained at 1080p. But the limitation was the CPUs can only calculate a certain amount of data. And as you know, if you double the frame rate, you're doubling the calculations. So most games ran at 30 frames per second. And then they also used a hard drive to cache certain information as well. So now we get to PS5 in this generation. And we got situations where you got the Unreal Engine.
Yep.
And the Unreal Engine, do you have a discrete piece of the GPU that is designed, right, to basically call it rasterize or put polygons on the screen? The UE5 engine is skipping that whole process and allowing for it to the program itself to or the engine itself to handle the sorting of the polygons, which means that it's more flexible and they can do the things that they're doing, which is remove polygons according to proximity or distance. But there's a limitation to that. You got a huge chunk of the GPU that's not being used because that's what GPUs are created for. But it's going to limit. It's always going to be a limitation when you do things like that. So this generation is supposed to be about ray tracing, and you only have a certain amount of rays to trace. So with all that being said, DeAndre, what do you think the new step is going to be?
Move forward this generation?
Yeah.
Are we talking about the two powerful consoles, or are we only talking about PS5 only?
We can kind of focus on PS5.
All right. So with PS5s only, like how Sony explained with the throughput, having that SSD controlling, having the developers given that maximum read speed, he wants to push that out as quick as possible and pull it away as fast as possible. So that way we can reduce these issues like the pop in and the texture stuff, and like how ray tracing is. Ray tracing is very demanding on graphics cards. Like I'm been running ray trace games on my PC with a 3080, and I can tell that the performance difference is there. So the best way to maintain high performance and high resolution and high textures is to have a throughput that's quick enough to pull stuff off of the pull the assets and re-render them as fast as possible. So that way it's not bottlenecking the system. That way it has enough room for the overhead. And I just personally feel it's like the best example I can see right now is between Spider-Man Remastered, Miles Morales, and Ratchet and Clank, how those games can run at their dynamic, 4K, 60, and ray trace. And like what the developers are doing is, okay, if we're doing ray trace lighting or ray trace reflection, make that native res of the ray tracing cut in half. So that way, yeah, the texture might not look as crisp when it's in quality mode, because quality mode is 30 FPS, but you'll still get that performance and smoothness while you get the same level of reflection and lighting. So
I want to touch on, because I believe level of detail, the shifting of objects and tessellation for actual characters and environment. Because it's funny, you got nanite, right? Nanite removes polygons where it's not necessary, right? And then you have something that's tessellation, which is literally growing polygons where it's needed, but you need really accurate control points. The recent game, Grand Theft Auto, the definitive edition, used tessellation to upscale the polygons, and it breaks the system of animation. So it's not all peaches and cream over there. But if you use it correctly, and if they have smart systems that control the points of where their polygons, quote unquote, grow, you can have smooth effects without the need of nanite and that limitation, that huge portion of the GPU not working. Ray tracing, though, if you don't know what ray tracing is, it is resolution based, because what happens is that instead of the light source emitting light rays all over the place, it is from the screen per pixel is shooting rays, and it could tell which one is a light source and what's not. So it's shooting rays towards the light source, and then that bounces in the environment. Now, there should be a lot of wasted rays because it could just go out in fucking space and that's it. So what they do is they create boxes around the objects, and that's how they could tell where to bounce and where to try to not calculate bounces, right? You wouldn't need an astronomical billions of rays, like billions upon billions of rays, to actually create like a one system where, depending on the surface, would depend on if it's reflective or if it's rough or whatever the case is. So there's a lot of cheats. They have a denoiser. There's a lot of holes or missing information because they don't have enough rays. So think about like a light rain, right? And each time rain hits a surface, right, that's light rain, it's giant gaps within that, right? So this denoiser has to basically extrapolate between each raindrop, right? What's missing. It's the denoiser that is going to be super fucking important in terms of getting the most out of the system without crashing everything. So they won't need a lot of rays. They could just basically fill in the gaps with the denoiser. The denoiser basically looks at the noisy image and smears it, basically. Which the problem here is, the biggest problem is reflections are not going to be crisp like ever in this generation, because you just need way too many rays to get like an accurate amount. Also, there's distance as well that's calculated. So that's why when you look at Miles Morales or any other ray trace games, there's a certain distance that it will go before it cuts off when you see it. But
I think as I mentioned, Digital Foundry did an analysis about that when ray tracing actually turns on and when screen space reflection turns on, and how they compare it like Doom and Ratchet and Clank, where it's like, hey, they both have ray tracing. Yes, Ratchet and Clank is better, but they use screen space reflection when they have to, free up memory or free up the assets when the player's view changes away from an accurate angle. So if the player doesn't look in the direction Ratchet's looking at, or wherever the wall mirror is at, eventually when the camera pans down or pans somewhere else, you'll start seeing that ray trace will go away and an SSR will turn on, just so the image can stay up, but it won't be realistic until the player looks back in that direction. So yeah,
right. So there's a certain distance and stuff like that. And the ray tracing that is handled with the UE5 engine. It basically, the whole engine is packaged in such a way where there's always like a blurry type image that you don't see. And then depending on the texture information, it would kind of distort it and use it for light bounces and global illumination. There's all this crazy stuff. So
it's good tools though.
Yeah, it's good tools. I think that we're going to get a lot of different engines, but I think this generation is going to be a lot better than what you think. I think that the Nanite and the UE5 engine is just scratching the surface.
It is.
Because it has to kind of cover a gamut of hardware. If you specialize your engine, such as first party, then they have the knowledge of knowing what to do and what not to do and stuff like that. So what we're going to see this generation, a lot more robust. And don't get this wrong. Ray tracing is really not for the end user. It's meant for the actual developer. Instead of them placing invisible lights to simulate light bounce, because that's what happens when you play a game like Horizon Zero Dawn or any of these games that have global illumination. It's going to be a feature where they just turn it on and it can do other things. So in that sense,
audio, ray trace audio.
No. I mean, like just focusing on that gameplay and stuff like that. A ray trace is a ray trace. So a lot of the times they can put, and they did this ray trace. There was ray tracing in the PS4. If you ever picked up Killzone Shadowfall, right?
Okay.
The gun sounds were actually ricochet, so you could tell where something was at, and it will distort depending on the surface of the texture.
Didn't Last of Us do that? Like if you shoot a gun inside it sounded like shooting a gun in the hallway compared to outside.
No, so you can do that basically by just putting a filter at certain places. This traced the sound effects. If you have Shadow,
I got Killzone
Shadowfall. Mm-hmm. Go into like a vent and shoot inside the vent, and then go outside the vent and shoot it. That's not a filter. That's the sound being bounced.
Okay, so is it after the first fire and the sound of the first fire echoing through the tunnel, or is it just a constant firing and then?
It's all the time. It's all the time. When you shoot your gun.
So wouldn't that be ray trace audio though?
A trace is a trace is a trace. All the system is doing is tracing a line basically. Okay. So they slow it down for sound basically. You know what I'm saying? So they don't need it to calculate so quickly. But that's how they calculate all that good stuff. So you have more accurate sound effects. You have more spatial awareness and stuff like that. So we'll get a lot of that mixed in with the ray tracing as well.
Does 3D audio from like headsets and the console PS5's console output, does that also count towards like the ray trace like audio or tracing of audio, or is that they're completely separate?
It will.
Okay.
It absolutely will. So, Ken, you have anything to say about it? I know you were kind of quiet the whole time.
Nah, man, I don't got nothing to say about it, man.
Where do you think games are going to go?
I mean, I don't know as much about the technology side of it, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I don't really think we're going to see like the level of quality that we saw like in the UE demo in terms of like the Matrix interactive tech demo or whatever it was. I don't think we're gonna get there just yet, but I don't know, man. I think obviously it's gonna be.
I think it's gonna be better than that, a lot better. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think obviously they're gonna have a lot of like customized engines like that are proprietary to the particular studios that'll utilize them in their own unique ways, however ways they can do that, but. I'm thinking in particular, like the Decima engine, that they're probably going to have that highly customized with the new technology, that they're sort of like implementing with the UE5 engine, which we already know that the Decima engine is highly capable already as it is. How that's actually going to manifest, I'm not exactly sure, man.
Did you guys see the new Horizon pictures?
Oh yeah, man.
They gave Aloy makeup, and I was shocked. Because that was that movement that some stupid Xbox was like, oh, you gotta make the characters based off the fans and make her look like a Barbie doll, and everyone was roasting that guy. They legit gave Aloy makeup right now.
I'm going to say this for all the Xbox that complain. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. And that's not sarcasm at all, because the trend that Sony was going to do is like, a woman can't be good looking at all. She got to look like she stink. She got to look like her coochie stinks. That's the problem.
But Aloy was never ugly, though. She's the weird part.
It wasn't that she was ugly, but the woman that they chose was always covered the fuck up. And that's not real. You know that's not real life. That's not real life.
But they live in a different time period. Like,
well, she found a way to get some fucking Maybelline. Where she found that at?
She got mascara on. I was like, yo, this one.
You can tell, she found the fucking mirror. She was like, fuck them niggas trying to say I'm ugly and shit. You got that way, bitch. You got that way. Let me stop. She ain't black. But
I mean, they did put the makeup on her.
Yo, she made it out of berries and water, yo.
She did.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm glad that women can express themselves however way they need to express themselves without you're what they call it again? The male gaze or some stupid shit that they have nowadays. She has to be butch. She has to be a short haircut. She has to have no titties, no thighs, no nothing. It's just as androgynous as you want to be. And that's how they were doing it. So I'm glad that she actually looks like her biological fucking coding, which is a woman.
Yeah. I mean, she still looked like that regardless.
She didn't look bad. She just looked like it. You know what it looked like? It looked like she got an urgent message in the morning. That's what it looked like. She must have got it from her focus and was like, it was Aaron. He was like, yo, I got some crazy shit. She was like, hold on, I'll be right there. Fuck, I can't even put up my fucking makeup. Hold on, let me get my boot. And she just got up and she just hurried up and went over there. That's what it looked like. She was in a rush. But since she going to the bar, just like in real time, like what we do it nowadays, she was like, shit, since I'm going to the bar, maybe some niggas over there I want to pick up. Let me put some makeup on real quick. You know what I mean? Get my drip going on. Shit. All right, she go in there, tying up her laces and shit. She gonna be hollered at all the time. Oh, yo, you Aloy. You Aloy you the Nora, right? She'd be like, who's asking? I just want to buy you a drink. Thank you so much. I mean, I just don't know. It's on me. I insist.
I never understood the hate, man. Because even in the original gameplay trailer, they just, I don't know, man. Some of these dudes just clipped her in some of the weirdest angles, man. To try to make her look bad, which she really didn't, man. She really didn't look bad at all.
She looked like a woman without makeup. I mean, that's what she looked like. And on top of it, what they were saying is that because of the heat, she got burnt a little bit. Like she got
skin tan.
She got sunburned a little bit.
You can see she's an android, so it's kind of she's not affected. What?
Who said she was an android?
Did you not beat the first game?
She ain't no damn android.
Aloy's an android.
She's like a clone or something like that.
Yeah, she's a clone of her human self, but she was created by a machine.
She's not a damn android, though. She don't got no mechanical pieces in her. She's just a clone.
But she don't have.
I mean, God, have you inspected her red strip personally?
I did. It's on pornup.com/Aloy.
Stop that.
Yeah, dude, you would be the motherfucker to look at.
Well, when I use the word android, it's just the fact she wasn't born from from a mother.
She's a test tube baby. That's what she is. That's basically what she is. Yo, Game Tight, I have a question for you, yo. If you wanna, I'm looking at your post right now. I just on a side note before we, because I don't think we honestly, I'll wrap this up. My subject at the end of the day, right? Games are going to look better than the UE5 engine, right? The reason why they're going to look better is because that's a technology that they're probably going to mix and they're going to mix into the existing engines in terms of ray tracing and all other good shit. So expect games to look better. And that's pretty much it. This generation, honestly, is going to look better. They're going to be bigger. But more importantly, it's going to be social. It's going to be social stuff. That's where we're heading to this generation. They're going to look better, but they're definitely going to be social, which leads me into your tweet that you did yesterday, I believe. You said, I don't understand why this needs to be in the game. To be honest, it's dumb. And I get you, Game Tight. I totally understand. We're talking about the NFTs.
Wait, which game are you talking about?
They're talking about
Was it Stalker 2 NFTs getting removed?
No, they're talking about Watcher. I mean, let me see. Can I invite him to speak?
Yo, these screenshots look incredible, man. I'm looking at them right now.
When you compare the first one to the second one, like it's not just more people; it's like a stupid amount of density.
It really is. Like I wish I could show you guys. This shit looks.
It looks fake. Like it looks. You know what it looks like? I mean, we all know that their art style kind of looks like toy art style almost. Like it's a very hyper realistic type situation. Fine, that's what they chose to do. But
I like it. I mean, if y'all have a PC or y'all ever played Horizon on PC, the fact they kind of added the DLSS support and stuff and higher contrast and textures on there, I don't know. It's a night and day difference compared to the PS5 version.
I mean, DLSS is going to be basically, it's going to clean the engine, but if it's a 4K game, I would say it's negligible. It means 4K is 4K. Now, game type, right? I have a few questions for you because I want you to kind of just explain what you mean by the NFTs. But more importantly, where do you think games are going?
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that again? I couldn't hear you.
Where do you think this, like basically PS1 was about 3D, PS2 was about large environments, PS3 was about crazy special effects, PS4 was about, again, large environments, and just better effects. So PS5 has ray tracing, fine. We just scratched the surface on what they could do with ray tracing because things could be optimized. But what do you believe how far this generation is going to go?
I mean, I'm not too. I don't know nothing about all that technical stuff, but I do think like games are going to be more, like for example like that Ratchet and Clank. I think the thing about that game that was pretty amazing was that all the things that you had on screen, like all the things you had going on at one time. I thought that was pretty neat.
It was dense as hell.
Yeah, like that was crazy. Like that opening scene, like when you getting on the little celebration thing or whatever. That shit was crazy.
So that being said, right, what the hell are you typing? Like, the fuck is that?
That's my rough penis, yo.
Anyway, so my thing is, I think a lot of this is going to be social based. A lot of games are going to be social based, so you got to brace yourself for it because it's not too many areas that you can go, right? That being said, right, you mentioned something about NFTs, and I wanted Ken to explain something. But why don't you like? And do you know what NFTs are?
You talking about me?
Yeah, you.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't necessarily like it, but I mean, like I don't know what company it was. They was talking about how NFTs is just gonna be there. People are just gonna have to get used to it or something like that. And I'm just saying, like, is it really like? Why does it need to be in the game? Like,
do you know what it is?
Yeah, I have a summary of what it is because my dad was telling me about it. But I'm just like, I mean,
what do you think? Well, what do you believe it is?
Isn't it like when you come up with something? Like I had my dad was telling me like you could come up with like a drawing or something like that, and then what you do is you I don't know. It's hard to explain. But I'm just trying to figure out what it has to do with gaming, though.
So I'll tell you what it has to do with gaming. It is the evolution of loot boxes.
That's what I'm saying.
It's so well. Let me explain it. Its sole design is to keep you engaged within the game. How? May I? If anyone's asking, a good example. I think Ken said this last week or 2 weeks ago, or maybe told me offline or whatever the case is that you own a piece of digital content that you earn within the game. So let's just say, right, I'm playing Halo Infinite, and they told me to do all these extra stuff, right, for that cat suit or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know what it is. That's $15, 18 or whatever it is, right? So for that cat suit, I bust my ass for that shit, right? And now that I have it, I could give it to somebody. So before I go on to the next part of that statement, what do you think about that?
What about like
that whole concept?
I mean, I don't know, man. This is.
He's like, I just don't want change, nigga. That's what it is.
Like the whole loot box thing is just like, I don't know.
It's not really a loot box. You know,
I say it's the evolution of it. So the whole thing is this. What
is the difference? Because I'm not really like knowledgeable about all this NFT stuff. Like I don't know nothing about all that.
I think Ken can answer that. Go on, Ken.
I mean,
Ken all up in that shit.
Yeah, an NFT is basically like a piece of digital media that only has one version of that media. So think of it like
that cat suit. The cat suit.
Well, think of it.
Keep it the same.
Well, think of it like this, right? If you know the Mona Lisa, right? You know, you have the Mona Lisa.
Right. Why you gotta go all extra stuff? Just talk about game-wise, guys. We already have an example.
I'm just prefacing it, right? So the Mona Lisa, there's only one copy, one version, one original, right? You have a bunch of different copies, but the original is the only one that, you know, that has as much value as it does. That's basically what an NFT is, but it's like a digital a piece of media. So it could be, you know, like a digital piece of art. It could be in context of video games. It could be like you know, like a suit, you know, a skin or something like that. You know what I mean? A gun. It could be a lot of different things. How they could utilize it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. So the way it works is that you can basically earn in-game items. You know, whether it's like a gun or a suit or a skin or something, whatever it is, right? And you are the only person who owns that particular item. Period. Like you're the only person that owns it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I get it.
Yeah. So
so his question is, how does that pertain? Why does it need to be in the game? That's what we need to address.
Well, I mean,
if we can consolidate that very small and understandably.
Well, I think there are two major parts to it. I think a lot of companies will inevitably try to monetize games that way, which I think is what most people are concerned about.
All right, what do you mean? How examples?
Yeah,
of how would they monetize it? Pieces of the game or the whole game itself?
Well, because you can actually buy and sell NFTs. So
I know, but pieces of the game or the whole game itself?
No, like just in-game items, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I mean, it could even go well, I'm not going to get that detailed into it, but yeah, they could buy and sell like pieces of like weapons in the game, skin, stuff that, you know, you kind of already pay for now, but now that, you know, you're operating within the realm of the NFT, you can like buy it and sell it, which comes to the other part of it, you know, which I believe is the most beneficial part. And I don't think a lot of people understand how it can actually be beneficial for them, is the fact that.
Now, can you pause really quickly? Yeah. How do you get these single items that this one item that's not a duplicate? How do you get it? In the developer sense, do you earn it? Do you buy it? How do you do it? Well, if you buy, you can't really.
Yeah,
it would have to be earning.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could you know, play and earn it. You know what I mean? Like if you're playing a game, you can earn an in-game item. You know, and if it is an NFT, then that will be the only item that exists for, you know, that particular item. You know what I mean? So you can do it that way, or you can buy it from someone. So like if like say you earned an item, like you earned a gun or a skin or something like that, and it's the only one in the game, then what you could do is, or I can come to you and I can say, hey man, I want to buy that gun from you or that skin from you for whatever so dollars, and then you can say, okay, here, so let me sell it to you. I'll give you $5 for this gun, and you get to have my gun. You know what I'm saying? And then now I own it.
So how would you acquire it? How would you acquire it?
So you should, so it's probably going to have some kind of in-game method for you to actually buy and sell it. But
just a quick example.
Well, I don't know how they're going to do it in game. I'm not sure.
Like if you extrapolate what you know, how would you think?
Real quick.
Yeah.
All right. So what I believe he's saying, like as an example, if you ever seen Counter-Strike on PC, how a lot of people will make those custom skins for their knife and their gun, but then they can sell it. They can sell that custom skin to other people as bids, and there's people legit exchanging it all throughout Steam with like real money for in-game currency to get those custom skins. So I personally believe they might do the same method with NFT for consoles or any other games, where hey, I have this item, I earned it from in-game. There's value to it. We do an in-game currency exchange where it translates back into real currency money in real life. So that's what I think.
That's
so is he?
You can utilize it, obviously, because like
what's the other way?
Well, the other way was what I was explaining. What he's talking about, DeAndre, is more like if you're an artist and you're
no, I know what he's talking about. Yeah. I'm just trying to move the subject. What's the other way?
No, that was it. That like you
said there was that way, which we just discussed. You said that's one way. What's the other way that you have in mind?
Oh, you mean to acquire them?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, you could buy it from someone else, or you could earn it in game.
So there's the two ways.
Those are the the simplest ways that for it to make sense.
Well, I understand there's a lot of things, and I get it. It's a lot of different ways, or however way you want to do it, but it has to make sense for the console base.
In context of games,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. So in context of like console gaming or whatever, what they're probably going to do is they're going to have some sort of like marketplace in the game where you can actually buy and sell the good between people. You know what I'm saying? Or what they might do is they might kind of like. You have like whatever, like like Halo, right? And then you have like Halo Waypoint online where you could do other shit, with your information. They might give you the access to like selling products on a website that they direct you to. I don't really know exactly how they're going to do it specifically, but that's usually how it goes. Like if you're going to buy and sell like a product, through with the cryptocurrency, in this case the NFT, it would usually go through a website.
That's connected to cryptocurrencies and stuff like that.
That's connected to what we call the blockchain. Yeah, the blockchain is what you buy and is where you buy and sell all of your crypto.
I guess I could just relegate this like the stock market for crypto, right?
Yeah, pretty much. This is
in the purest form. That's what it's basically is. That's where all the money is. Now that we said that, Game Tight. Do you have any grievances for that type of setup? Like, do you think it's going to fuck up gaming?
I mean, honestly, I don't know, man. I think it's just a thing of waiting until we see it and seeing how they do it.
So there's two byproducts of this. The first byproduct that I can see probably can be a problem is people are going to start to focus on one large game. And so everything else would starve, essentially. Everybody's going to be on one game. Think of World of Warcraft. And they just grind forever to get this one item. And that's why they're doing it, to flip it. You know what I mean? Like real estate. Or if the game is good enough and they put this stuff inside the game, it'll make people more hardcore about that game. You see how flaky people are? The next one game comes out, people just ready to jump the fuck ship. You know what I mean?
It will. Because like if you look at games like you said, World of Warcraft, Elder Scrolls Online and stuff like that, right? There are people already now, even right now, they like grind for in-game items, gold and all kinds of stuff, right? Just a lot of rare shit that takes a long time to do. And they actually sell it off, like their accounts off to other people. You know what I'm saying? Like for people who don't want to spend that time, there are people who have like a whole ecosystem around doing this. So like it's like this methodology is already here. Like people are already doing this shit. Like the idea of it, it's just now like with like actually
It's
implementing.
cleaner. It seems to be cleaner.
Well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, they're actually giving you a system that actually functions in a way where you can actually do that. You know, like you said, easier, cleaner, whatever you want to say it. You know what I'm saying? And I see me personally, man. I think I get it, man. A lot of people are upset about the whole monetization thing, which I understand. I do believe that over time people will see the benefit of having those things, but I will say this as well. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, man, because I know probably most of you guys are not probably that into crypto at the moment. Not a lot of people are, but it's gaming right now is in fact the highest adoption rate for cryptocurrency. But at the same time, I don't think all facets of the gaming market right now are ready for it. Obviously, you know, because when they announced the NFTs going into Stalker, bro, there was so much pushback. But I think a lot of that pushback was based on, like I said, people fear of, you know, people monetizing games and all that type of stuff, which I understand. I get it because I've been in this shit too.
But it's not quite monetizing the game. It's really it's making people, it's changing their behavior to do stuff in the game to give you a sense of like, I accomplished this, it's mine. And then what do you do with it? You know what I'm saying? What do you do with the thing that you earn? And they're giving you an avenue to make money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
in this case, if they do it that way. Now, I was talking to Ken it was a couple of days ago. Now, Game Tight, do you have the game Dreams? Is he still in there?
Yeah, he's still in there.
Oh, he's muted.
Was you talking to me?
I have Dreams.
Yeah.
What about Dreams?
Do you have the game Dreams?
Yeah, from Media Molecule.
Yeah, I know you got it, DeAndre, but what about you, Game Tight?
No, I don't.
Okay. So Dreams, if you know, I'm sure you know the concept of Dreams. Basically,
yeah, they like create their own like little games and stuff like that. Yeah, I know.
Right. You create everything from objects to the entire environment, level design, sound effects, all that shit you create, right? The cool thing about Dreams is that you could take other people's creations, right? So if I needed a tree, I could type in the word tree or a realistic tree and be like, okay, I want that tree. So I'm going to take that tree, right? And then create something. That's the thing. The bigger the demographic or the bigger the user base for Dreams, the quicker you can make a game. Because you don't have to make everything from scratch. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody's specialty is trees, then, you know, that's the tree guy. You know what I'm saying? You can use him and just build your own environment. Now, add NFTs to this. People are doing this shit for free, creating these shits. Mm-hmm. There's no monetization for Dreams at all. But think about it. If you created a unique item, you say, listen, I will give you this, but it's going to cost you like $5 or whatever. Let's say $30. And it'll be yours. Because the exchange is literally giving your ownership away. Is that correct, Ken?
Yeah. So once you sell it, the other person actually owns it.
And you can't have it anymore.
Unless you buy it back from them.
Unless you buy it back from
Which, if you do, it'll probably be at a higher price because it'll probably be worth more than what you sold it for.
Right.
Yeah.
So that being said, you can see in these particular games, either if you're creating items, you could make some money from this.
I mean, you could think of it like this too, man. You know, like a lot of these small developers, right? Like in Dreams or whatever, you know, they're making these games where, you know, these small indie games, like what they could do is they could essentially make what we call a play to earn game in the crypto. I know you guys know what that is, but it's you play to earn obviously money in the game. So people can actually build these games within Dreams, you know, just in context of what you're saying, and then actually monetize it. You know what I'm saying? Like they could get people to join their game, make money playing their game, and the person who made the game is making money off of the people playing. You know what I'm saying? So there's like a whole cycle of, you know, of people who could actually benefit from that whole situation. You know what I'm saying?
So I feel like you shouldn't be afraid of the change. It's easy to jump on a bandwagon and be like, "Oh, what's this?" But I think people don't even get it. They don't even. The concept is like beyond them at the moment because they think it's microtransactions.
Can I mention something real quick?
Yeah.
So I like how you guys went in detail about NFT at once. I didn't know truly until you explained it. But how the media is handling, like the gamers are, and people are just hating on it. They don't understand. It's the same thing with like the Xbox One with the always online. People hated the idea. We fast forward today, they love it. You know, Game Pass day and day. They love signing to Xbox Live, access and all this stuff. Knowing the fact that if you buy a disc, you can't play a disc offline unless you update it. But people still bought into the system. So I believe that NFT is a future for console. It's just going to gradually take time, just like the DRM with the Xbox platform took time for people to understand.
It's kind of like you can either buy a escort, right, for like $200, or you could basically get a girl and spend $200 for dinner. It's how you word it. You know what I mean? You're still paying for it.
Yeah, layman's term. You're absolutely right.
You're still paying for it regardless. So it's just
something's fast than the other for end result.
You know what I'm saying? Like I hate to say it so fucked up, but like it's it's how you say it, and that's why the media is like, okay, I'm willing to do Game Pass. This is really cool. When really, that's not really that great for you. You don't own it. It leaves your fucking library within a few months.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm actually pretty, obviously, because I'm into crypto. I'm pretty excited about the implementation of NFTs in gaming a little more, because I think gaming already as it is I believe one of the biggest forms of entertainment like in the world. Period. Like it makes so much fucking money, it's insane. You know what I mean? So but a lot of people are not making money from it at all. They just do it because they like it. They like, you know what I'm saying? People play Call of Duty because they like to play Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? So if you could take the time that you're playing whatever Call of Duty and you earn an in-game NFT, you could literally like turn the time that you're basically getting nothing from this into actually making real money off of it. You know what I'm saying? You could sell this. Yeah.
And then you cry about it when you get rid of it. You're like, I earned that gun. Me and my friends, we grinded all night on this stupid mission.
I mean, I think right now there's just a lot of missing context to it because, like right now, I think a lot of the rhetoric is just like, oh, they're monetizing. They're just monetizing. We need to keep monetization out of our games and stuff like that. But, they
already do it. They already do it. You stupid bitch. What the fuck you think Game Pass is? The fuck?
Yeah, that's what I think a lot of the fear comes from. But I think over time, like when people realize you said what?
I was on the Game Cast. I don't know if he was directing it towards you or as a joke, but
no, not to him.
No, he wasn't.
I got a little passionate right there, real quick. It's just for the people that's online. It's just stupid. Just shut the fuck. Everybody's looking to be outraged about something, and they want to be on this. They want to be the first person to be outraged about it so they can get the most clicks. So as soon as they started with the NFTs, they're like, I want to be the first to say that I stood against it.
I don't like it. But it's like,
go ahead, Crypto. Go ahead and continue.
No, it's just like, but do you I'm not saying this to you guys, but just in general, it's like, but do you really like understand what it is though? Like you're opposing it, but you don't really know what it is or how it works. You know what I'm saying? Like just in context, right? Like say if you played a game for because I know a lot of us, we play games for fucking hours, man. So you get a gun.
I'm gonna be on it.
Yeah. Like you get a gun in Call of Duty, right? And it's an NFT and it's whatever. Let's just say it's a rare gun that most people don't have, right? And then you find out, through owning the shit that you could fucking sell this shit for like, I don't know. You could sell it for like $500. You know what I'm saying? Because some motherfucker out there is willing to pay $500 to get that gun that you have that you can't get anywhere else. I think a lot of this shit a lot of the people who are going to buy this shit are people who are, streamers, Twitch streamers, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they spend a lot of money on this shit anyway. You know what I mean?
Especially something
It
like
sounds like
Fortnite.
easy money. That's what it sounds like.
That, see the hustle. See, I knew it. I can hear it in your voice.
Hey, could you imagine what motherfuckers like that play 2K would do with that?
Bro. That's
I think
one thing. Look, that's one thing about black people, man. We be looking. We be. I sure God be open. We be like, what?
2K would be the biggest thing. I'm telling you,
Because you'll be able to sell your profile. You know what I mean? You busting ass, and you be like, yo, I saw this bitch for
or
2,000.
like if they got like specific moves that's like super overpowered that don't nobody else got. What?
Yeah.
So it's so like I said before, it can actually make you more invested and more attached to the game. That's dangerous because there's a lot of psychology into that bitch. But
Yeah, true.
But you can make some cake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you could do it. See, like even right now, man, there are people in some third world countries and shit like India and some of these other places, right? Who that's literally what they do. You know what I'm saying? They literally play video games, these crypto games or with the NFTs and all this shit, right? And that's how they make their living. They don't do anything else. They just play games all fucking day and they make money doing it. Because they can sell
and it's
this
better.
shit
It's better than streaming all fucking day for 3 fucking views. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like to try and get like a sponsorship with Twitch or some shit like that. Like, nah, man. Like these guys are making a lot of fucking money doing this shit. Like already as it is.
So don't get too crazy scared about the shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't get too because honestly, it's not that. It's honestly, it's honestly not as scary as what they're saying it is, because people are just tripping and they don't know what the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what it is. It's really what it is. Kenny, did you want to go on to the next topic?
Yeah, we can go on to the next one. So I came up with the topic weird Sony acquisitions because I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but obviously they've been making a lot of acquisitions lately. I think and I'm not sure if this is a general sentiment, but I think a lot of these acquisitions are kind of just like, what are they? Basically, you know what I mean? Like we got all of these different Fire Sprite, which whatever, you know what I'm saying? We got Fabric Games which they joined Fire Sprite. Then we have fucking this new one that they just acquired like yesterday. Fucking what was it called? Delight Games, the ones who created the Fate game or whatever for mobile.
Really?
Hey, that game is huge though.
It is. I'm not gonna lie about that.
That game, I think they've made like over $5 billion off that game.
What is it? What is it?
It's a mobile game.
It's a mobile game, yeah.
What kind of game?
What is the name of it?
It's called Fate. It's called Fate Grand Order.
Yeah, I'm saying what kind of game it is.
Like gameplay wise, is it a strategy game?
Yeah,
it's a card based game.
Like strategy, like it ain't like it's not my type of game. I know that for a fact because I've seen it, and I was just like, nah.
That shit's making bank though, man. Because I just looked up the numbers.
Shit is making money though. Yeah, it's one of the biggest mobile games out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that shit. It's crazy, yo, because they're making a lot of money with it. But some of these other acquisitions that they made, man, I'm just like, yo, what are we doing with this shit? Because
like that Valkyrie studio that they got.
That one.
And
then,
there was another one. I think they got those. There was another one that's like that too. But those two, I think they just got those for like support studios.
So yeah, that's what I was gonna say, man. Because I believe, like they obviously they just got not too long ago the Nixes, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, it was that one.
Yeah, they got Nixes. They got Valkyrie Entertainment, which obviously those two studios were studios that worked with Sony's other first party studios for years or whatever, right? So I think personally those studios are mostly going to be support studios, like you said. In game, they're going to do a lot of like in game development and shit like that. Some of these other ones, obviously,
I thought they were the PC port companies.
Well, that's what they're known for. Yeah, I mean, I believe that they could do more than that, obviously, but that's what I think everybody knows them for. They port a lot of their games to PC and shit like that.
Okay, I thought they port a lot of third party games from other, developers. They had a track record.
Yeah. So
that Valkyrie studio done worked on a lot of games.
Oh, Valkyrie
like
Entertainment.
A lot.
Yeah, they did. I actually just pulled that shit up like
They even worked. I think they worked on Halo, if I'm not mistaken.
I actually had a whole list because I actually pulled the shit up while Josh was
They
talking.
had Halo on there, God of War. There's a bunch of them. There's a whole lot of them. I was surprised. I was like, damn.
Yeah, so my thing is, right, because we're getting a lot of these support studios. We got Fire Sprite Studio, which we know that they worked on a VR game and some other stuff. I've never played any of the games that they came out with. So my question is, when are we actually going to start seeing like the fruits of the labors of these games? I mean, these acquisitions. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think it's gonna be at least a couple years. Because Deviation Games just announced today that they are officially in production. They just finished pre-production with their game. They're starting it in early 2022.
Yeah, see, like when I look at obviously games like, I mean, not games, but acquisitions like Blue Point, right? When you look at a studio like Blue Point, right, you can attach some kind of history to it. You know what I mean? They worked on whatever, Shadow of the Colossus, they worked on Demon's Souls, they worked on the Uncharted games. I believe they worked on fucking, was it I think it was one of the mobile God of War
Yeah,
games.
it was the PSP God of Wars. I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah,
Ready at Dawn made the God of War games.
Okay, so, but we know that they made at least the first three that I mentioned, right? When you look at studios like Housemarque, right? They worked on Resogun, they worked on Alienation, they worked on, Returnal, obviously, is the most recent game that they had, right? A lot of these studios that they did, or some of them that they acquired recently, right? They have some kind of history to it. You know what I'm saying? Because we know what we can expect, at least to some degree, of what they're going to do. These other ones, I'm like, what are we going to expect from them? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what to expect from Fire Sprite. I don't know what to expect from Nixus. You know what I'm saying? Aside from them being a support studio, or Valkyrie Entertainment. You know what I mean? Like Deviation Games, we know that they're not really an acquisition, but they worked on the Call of Duty stuff, and I believe it was some Destiny content.
Yeah, it's a new studio, so who knows what they doing.
Yeah, so my question to you guys is, first of all, what do you guys expect that these studios will in fact do? Because there was a whole list of these acquisitions that Sony just made recently that I'm like scratching my head like, okay. So what do you guys think? What do you, one of you guys can go first, doesn't matter. What do you think? What do you think they're going to do?
I mean, as far as like the Nixus one and the Valkyrie one, I honestly just think they're just there to support all the other big studios. I think that's what they're doing.
What do you think, Josh?
I mean, I guess when we were talking about it, one of the things that you were the direction that you were going into was like, why is everyone so fucking excited, about these new acquisitions? You don't even know what it is. Yo, they just got this one game. Oh my god, yo, Sony killing it. What are you making?
Hey, I'll say this though. I think whatever Blue Point is working on, I'm interested in.
Hell yeah.
I heard that they were trying to do a unique IP, which I'm kind of curious. I heard it's going to be small. And to be honest with you, a lot of people are like, "Whoa, I want my money worth." But look at Kana.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Kana's beautiful. I love that game. I platinumed it.
Yeah, they got a lot. Not only that, but those motherfucking people are wizards when it comes to graphics.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this. I honestly think that's gonna be Sony's next acquisition. I ain't gonna lie to you.
What is it? You talking about
the Kenya, the secret, Ember Lab team. I don't know. I don't want them to acquire them, but just keep a partnership. Like, hey, next game they make it a time exclusive. It's too early.
Somebody might scoop them up, man.
Well, the reason why I say that is because like Sony had posted this trailer. I think it was yesterday on Twitter, and it was showing all the things that they had did, whether it was like the movies, games, and everything, and it was all first party stuff. And it didn't show no third party. And Kanan was in that trailer. Like, it'd be different if Deathloop was in there, but Deathloop wasn't even in the trailer. So I'm saying here, like, I don't know. It's just something that I caught, and I thought it was kind of interesting.
Just say they were.
Hey, do you have the trailer link? I would like to see it.
I'll post it.
Okay, I would love to see it.
I was looking at it because none of the other like Final Fantasy wasn't in there, Deathloop wasn't in there, and I'm sitting here like, oh no, I thought that was kind of interesting, but I could be just be, you know.
No, I think and there's also what do you call it again? What's that? The fucking Death Stranding, Kojima Productions. It's still them. Not, and this is not just the fanboy because
Death Stranding wasn't in there either. Yeah, now that I think about it, yeah.
So I'm gonna kind of like say this right because it's not about fanboy, about acquisitions. It's about knowing what the fuck you're excited for. Let's be honest. Like if you're a fan of PlayStation, you want the best for it. But it's not just the plastic box. It's it gives you a lot of fucking entertainment. But let's be rational. Let's be calm and reasonable about it. So
person.
That's the thing. I think a lot of moves that Sony is going to do, and to be honest with you, this is probably one of the reasons why I low key am trying to steer this NFT thing away because I think that games like I said, Dreams is going to start using it. But more importantly, they keep acquiring like cell phone people, and that's where that shit's going. You know what I mean? So I feel like even though like people are getting hyped about these acquisitions, but they are all not going to be exclusives. I don't believe. I think some of these games are going to be on fucking phones only or PC only.
Oh, I agree. I think that.
You know what I'm saying?
I think they're going to have a specific team. I don't know who or what they're going to do, but I think they're going to have a studio where they're going to have. They're just going to be making mobile games,
right?
Whatever they do, like I tell people all the time, like that Genshin Impact. That's a perfect example. I could see them doing something like that to where it's a game that you can put on the console and then you can also download the app and put it on your phone or on a tablet. I could see Sony doing something like that easy.
Did you by any chance Game Site post that at all?
I'm about to look for it right now.
Because if you post it, I'm gonna put it on YouTube.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious, man. Like some of the acquisitions are obviously to bolster these different like directions that they're trying to go. Whether it's mobile, PC, whether it's just to support the PC ports or to actually make mobile games, on their own. But I don't know. I'm not I'm not going to say that I'm not to some degree excited about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why everybody is so over the top excited about it just because they were acquired by Sony. I think a lot of the acquisitions are going to, like, at least in real time, like how we can, or, the results, or I think what they're going to translate into are, some of these games obviously being bigger games, more dense. Obviously, they can probably get a lot more shit done within these games, basically just, a support studio, like we were saying before.
So it looks like what they're doing is some of these people are going to make sure that those PS5 exclusives are going to be ported over to PC easily, for sure. So let's not get mad about what we already know. You know what I'm saying?
The funny thing about that though, there isn't any PS5 games on PC. At least not right now.
It's coming. It's coming.
I mean, I think a lot of people are saying that they're going to come like within a year or two. Personally, I don't think that's the case. I mean, we'll see. I feel like
we're going to get, once everything is said and done, some of these games are going to be day and date, especially these games that's going to be
like multiplayer.
I can see multiplayer games doing it. Yeah, I can see.
And then other things are going to be 6 months. That's going to be like probably the absolute pinnacle. That's what it's going to be.
But how long do you think it's going to be before they actually do that? I think it's going to be a little while, man. I don't think
by the end of the generation.
I think what might happen is, we'll obviously these games are going to go to PC, whether or not it's going to be like day one. I mean, not day one, but first year, second year. But I think over time, like throughout the length of the generation, the time is going to shrink and get shorter. Whether that's, for them wanting to get more people access or give more people access to the game, or you know what I mean? So I don't know. Like I feel like just over time, it's just that the time is going to shorten up. I don't think it's going to happen like within the next like couple of years though.
I think it's going to happen at the end of this generation. I mean, it's by the end of the generation, we're going to see this. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to be at some facet of a first party game that's going to be story driven. That's going to be, it's going to be basically not day and day, but 6 months out. I don't think they're going to do day and day for sure. Not that it matters, because ultimately
I think 6 months is too short. I think a year minimum. I don't see them even doing 6 months.
So why do you say 6 months?
No, I said I don't.
I mean, I'm saying why don't you say 6 months? Excuse me.
Think about it. 6 months, the game ain't even been. Most times, Sony games they sell. I mean, Spider-Man is still selling on PlayStation. Like crazy.
I feel like that's an anomaly, man. I know. I feel you. I feel you.
One,
no, I know.
2018. It's still,
I know.
Like selling like crazy, bro. Like that's crazy, and it's been out for over a year. So I mean,
Sony already said that, you know, their focus is to try to make the PS5, you know, the best selling console just ever.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, I don't think that their focus is going to be on PC. I think their focus is going to obviously be trying to sell these games as much as they possibly can and get the console to sell as much as they possibly can.
And
you know,
well, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're good, man. I mean, that was pretty much it. I don't know. I don't think 6 months is. I think it's too short too, man. Because I think just like with God of War, man, we just found out not too long ago, God of War sold over 20 million copies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, so like right now, and that was on the PS4. You know what I'm saying? So now would be a good time for them to put it on PC, which they are. You know, we know that, so they can obviously benefit more from the game. But I don't know, man. That was after what, 4 years of the game being out. You know what I mean?
And we keep having these conversations about consoles. You know what I'm saying? About the use of consoles. There was some clown on fucking Twitter talking about the console demographic is shrinking. I'm like, it's shrinking because Xbox ain't doing what they're supposed to be doing, because Nintendo and Sony are having record numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because Nintendo is going to be at 100 million.
Are we talking about this generation?
100 million
this generation.
Yeah, Microsoft's doing fine though right now.
Are they?
Yeah, they're not doing better than Nintendo and PlayStation, but they're doing better than last gen right now. So,
in terms of what?
Like they're selling more total units than the Xbox One did at the same time period.
But they're not playing games though. That's also something
that's their demographic audience. Like they bought the system for, you know, Netflix. That's just what they want to do. As long as they
so do they really count though? Then do they really count?
They're still gamers, regardless. I mean, even though 2% of people beat Halo Infinite campaign, someone still played the game.
It's funny because it's funny because Ken is he's a Nintendo / PlayStation fanboy, and he fucking blew them out the water. So I'm like, I mean, all this talk about fucking Game Pass and, you know, we're gamers, and then they have us under a microscope. Any kind of, I ain't gonna say ponies, any kind of PlayStation fan, everything that PlayStation does is under an extreme fucking microscope.
Yeah, it's a double standard.
And it's like,
it's a super double standard.
It's like, why are you all up somebody? You know what I mean? Like, why are you all up the fucking PlayStation fans' ass? Like, why? Don't you have games to play?
Look, GameCast, you have to understand that this console war stuff, don't take it personal. It's all jokes at the end of the day. Most people, 90% of the gamers out there really aren't paying attention to the console war. They know what platform they're going to play on. They're going to play the games they want to play at. They're not listening to Twitter beef back and forth. We're just minorities at the end of the day. So just don't take it personal. Just laugh about it.
I'm not. It's just they create a lot of noise. That's the problem.
I know, but the fake propaganda, it does.
It's very noisy. Let's put it that way. It's very noisy on the interweb.
So there was this dude earlier that he was talking about, because they was talking about, you know, the Metacritic for Halo, you know, that's sitting at 87 right now, and he was basically saying that Sony could never make a first person shooter as good. And I'm sitting here like, bro, did y'all not play Killzone 2?
Like
I never did, because Halo 3 was so popular at the time.
I get it, but I'm saying, like, bro, Killzone 2 is actually sitting at a higher Metacritic. Like, don't say here. It's not that PlayStation can't do it. They can. It's just that that's not their bread and butter. Like, Killzone 2 was good. Resistance was good. All three of the Resistance was actually really good. And then Killzone 1 was trash, and then the Shadowfall wasn't that great.
It was so Killzone 1 had a lot of ambition. It was just executed poorly. Sort of like that Matrix movie.
Yeah. That's what I'm
Well, don't get me started on Matrix movie. I had to look up the lore to actually understand it for. But go ahead.
I feel I love Keanu Reeves. Yo. That acting is so amazing.
I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know.
No, I'm not even trying to be sarcastic, yo. I just, you know,
Dude,
he just
crazy.
Yo, he just kill me with it. He'd be like, I'm looking for Trinity.
He does it so slow, like he's shaking while saying.
Yeah, you hear the shake, right? That wooden ass shake, that shimmy.
That old man shake.
I still know Kung Fu.
I still know Kung Fu.
I was like, what the hell?
Can't wait to see him in John Wick 3. I mean 4. John Wick 4.
Show me this isn't real. He's so stupid. Everybody's shitting on that movie and it didn't do well. That's fine. But it looked like that movie, low key. It had a horrible budget. I think personally, I was thinking about the theory on this. I think Matrix was supposed to be the HBO show that was had 2 seasons. And then somebody was like, well, why don't we just make this shit into a movie? And then they compressed all that shit together and made it into a movie. It feels half-baked, and it almost have like a budget of a show to me.
I'm sorry, man. Some of the fourth wall breaking stuff that they were doing was just corny. It's just so bad.
That stupid song, yo. They keep playing that song.
He was like, the story always goes on, just with different characters. Warner Bros. I'm like, bro, what the fuck, Warner Bros. It's like, get the fuck out of here with that, man.
Warner Brothers said we have to make another Matrix movie or Matrix video game,
whether it's with you or without you. I'm like, bro, get the fuck out of here.
Hey, Warner Brothers need to get they DC movies together while Marvel.
Yo, it's so stupid. To be honest with you, The Matrix could have been our lifetime's Star Wars. Easy. The whole Zion and everything else, man. And then they just, this is what happens when people want to be too artsy about their shit and want to make a statement.
Bro, Warner Brothers be on some bullshit. Like, bro, they like they cartoon, the animated movies that they be coming out with, them motherfuckers be fire. And then you bring up their live action movies. Them shits be trash.
I feel like, man, like what happened? Anyway, going based off of these acquisitions and shit like that, I do truthfully believe that I think what we're going to deal with, I would say 6 months to a year, right? That's what I believe. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's going to be 6 months to a year of these games, and I'm just so tired of the ponies too being all fucking upset about this shit. I'm so sick of it.
I'm not. I don't really care, but
I care, but I don't care.
If it's a year, that's fine. I don't care about that. But if you gonna come out with a game, one of the biggest games, and then have it come out on PC a couple months later, I think that's dumb as hell.
I think
it's going to be dumb, and there's 2 pieces to it. There's a logical piece, and then there's like an emotional piece to this. You know what I'm saying? Logically, you definitely don't want to release a game too early because you have your own walled garden, which is PSN. Right?
And they don't even need to. That's the thing.
They do. We were talking about this before, right? They do, and the reason why is because they just can't make enough consoles. Period.
I get that, but what I'm saying is that like everybody is trying to push for Sony to release these games on PC, but I don't hear nobody doing that for Nintendo.
No, Nintendo can get whatever the fuck they can get away with it.
Switch games. I'm doing it right now on my PC. I don't.
I'm talking about just like releasing games.
But you know what, man?
On PC.
I will say this too.
Not emulating them or nothing like that. Anybody can do that with any game, damn near.
I will say this too, man. I think there's a certain level of expectation that people have for Sony and PlayStation over some of these other consoles. You know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely agree with that. Yeah. So I mean, obviously with Nintendo, man, like they have good games and shit like that. But I think a lot of people sort of expect the same type of shit that they've always given us. You know what I'm saying? And Nintendo ain't gonna budge on that shit. They haven't.
They already know. I think that PlayStation. I think PlayStation is like black people.
I'm dead.
No, it's more like
No,
PlayStation
but
is
hear me out.
quality.
Hear me out. Hear me
It's like
out. Hear me
fine
out.
dining.
Hear me
It's
out.
not
Hear me out. Hear me
I'm
out.
done.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Wait, hold on. Hear me out. Hear me out. So when I was young, right, I had a white friend, and we found like an abandoned house. Shout out to Abandoned whenever we're going to get that game. But we found an abandoned house, right? And he was like, hey, Josh, come on. It's crazy in here. Let's go see what it is. We could be like, you know what I mean, Indiana Jones. So I went in there. The house was dilapidated, fucked up. It was just a layer of litter. So I'm sitting there looking at it. I was like, let me see what I can glean from this fucking house. So he found a golf club, and he started swinging, cracking shit. And I was like looking at him, and I'm like, oh, that's white boy shit. All right, whatever. So I go and I get out. I had my fly, and there was nothing in there to kind of take. So I get out the house, and the neighbors across the street was looking at me. And I see him walking inside. I already knew what the fuck it was, right? All of a sudden, the fucking cops was all around that fucking house, driving. Soon as my friend saw the cops, he was walking alongside me. He darted, pew, out. I continued to be calm and walk straight to another friend's house. My the fuck was his name? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I go over there, and he goes up to me. He says, "Is this your house?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just going to my friend's house. Is anything happening?" He grabbed my hand immediately. "Get your ass over here." I'm sitting there being yanked back and forth. He was like, if you try to move, I'll get your ass over to the fucking jail so fast to make your head swim. He threw my ass in the fucking car. Now he found my friend that was white. He found him, and he didn't grab him at all. He just told him to go into the cop car, right? Now I could have took this as racism. But what I understand is that there's an expectation for all black people. We automatically know better. We should we should have been doing it in the first place. But when it came to my friend, he was, he didn't know anything. You know what I mean? It was a mistake. So when I say that Sony's like black people, they can't make a mistake. They can't.
Oh no, bro!
They can't make a mistake, and then how dare you try to do NFTs? How dare you try to do microtransactions? How dare you do all this other stuff? How dare you come up with a release that's $70? That's a complete remake, right?
So
Nintendo can throw their legs up and put out fucking Mario 64 20 fucking years ago, right? 20 some odd years ago. Almost 30 years ago, right? And charge $60 for it. Like they didn't even try to up.
Breath of the Wild is still $40+, bro.
And that's a recent release, but they charge $50 fucking for a game that's almost 25 years old. And all they did, and they didn't even stretch out the screen. They didn't even do widescreen. They were just like, fuck it, it's going to look like fucking ratio 4:3. You know what I'm saying? Keep that shit moving.
Yes.
And it runs at 30. Then it runs at 30 frames a second. You know what I'm saying? And they're looking like everybody's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And they're like, "Oh, that's just Nintendo." But they don't know better. It's just that Japanese company. They set in their ways. Sony does some shit like that. How dare you? They do cash grabs.
All right, so I got a question. Y'all think as a publisher, as a whole, do y'all think there's any other publisher that's better than Sony? As a whole.
Publishers.
Repeat your question. I didn't hear you.
Like, do y'all think there is another gaming publisher like Sony? Do y'all think there's anybody that is better than them?
What's going on, Jemiah? I feel like I'm going to sound like a fanboy, but all things considered, it would have been Rockstar. It would have been them.
Bro, Rockstar, listen. I don't know what's going on with Rockstar. The problem I have with Rockstar is they doing the shit with GTA Online, and then they drop like 2 games every 10 years, it seems like.
I need you guys to remember.
We've never went this long without a new GTA. Think about it.
I want you guys to remember, right? PS2 era, Manhunt, 3 full-fledged Grand Theft Autos. Bully.
It's more than that.
No, I'm just saying for PS2. So
yeah, PS2. Think about it. You had Grand Theft Auto 3, San Andreas, Vice
all three of the Grand Theft Autos. Mm-hmm.
And then you had Liberty City Stories, and then you had Vice City Stories.
That's right.
On PS2.
That's right. Then you had Bully. Then you had Bully.
That was on PSP though. Yeah, you had Bully.
Uh-huh. Well, even if they're putting out games, so that's the thing. You had Bully, you had Manhunt.
Yeah, the Warriors. Man,
the Warriors.
Rockstar was the shit there.
You had Red Dead. Because they purchased them. And then they moved to PS3, right? So they came up with 2 DLCs. GTA 4.
Wait, you mean they purchased Red Dead Revolver?
Yeah, they purchased them.
Okay.
I thought they made the first one. I thought they already owned it.
Red Dead Revolver, I believe they made that one, then they made Red Dead Redemption after that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's part of their games that they had. And then there was 2 DLCs for the PS3 era. And then you had GTA 4 and then GTA 5, right? And then Red Dead Redemption. Cool.
Bro, Sony has dropped more games than that in the last 10 years.
Yo, honestly, man, I don't really think right now, if you're talking about like like overall publisher, I don't really think anybody else is doing it better than Sony right now, man. I think the only ones that are probably close in terms of quality and stuff like that, and maybe even to some extent output, would maybe be like Capcom to some extent. Right. I personally think Warner Bros. They do well with a lot of their shit, and they have a lot of games in development. But I don't know, man. I just don't think outside of like maybe Capcom, I don't really think a lot of these publishers are really pushing it like Sony is, man.
I will say this though. I'll say this real quick. The problem is like Rockstar doesn't have to push out a bunch of games because they're still making money. Sony, Nintendo, and Xbox have a requirement to put out games for their consoles. These third-party publishers just have to make money. Their focus is on making money, not making gamers happy. You know what I mean? Yeah. But when it comes to the console manufacturers, they have to make games for their consoles. Otherwise, you know what I mean? You look like Xbox, and they come into problems like that.
Hey, and I will say this. I love Sony. Like, I love Sony's games, but they do not have a GTA. Like, I don't think people realize how big GTA is, like, as just a franchise. Like, Sony doesn't have a game like that. So,
well, not yet.
I don't think anybody has a game like that.
Nobody, yeah, exactly. Like Rockstar, they don't need to make another IP or nothing like that. They could just do GTA for the rest of
that's their shit
forever. So, I mean, they do got that. So I got to give them that.
I think Rockstar is an incredible publisher in terms of like the games that they do put out, the new ones. But it takes so goddamn long to make games, man. You know what I'm saying? It takes too fucking long, man. I just can't like if I'm comparing
those games are really like meaty.
They really are. Like I'm not taking that away from them because obviously their games are like big, they are detailed, they look incredible. You know what I'm saying? You could argue the mechanics to some extent, obviously, being outdated. But you can't deny the quality for the game, man. Like, you just can't do that shit, However, when you compare their output versus someone like Sony, I'm sorry, man. They just don't.
It's not even.
It's not close. There's no competition there, man.
It really isn't. And I'm tired. People need to put some spec on that name, like on some real shit. Like, I get it. On Sony, they need to put some spec on that name.
Oh, yeah.
Now I get it. Okay, fine.
I was arguing with this dude. Like, I told him, I was like, bro, Sony is the best publisher out of all these publishers, and he was just like, that's just an opinion. And I'm like, bro, who has dropped more games and better games within the last 10 years as a whole?
See, in terms of better,
1 or 2 games as a whole.
So in terms of better games, right? That could be subjective. But one thing you can't say is that the games are
broken. Yeah, broken.
Or broken. Yeah. So you got the quality is there. You got the amount of games that they're releasing is there. And the answer should be fucking simple, but you know, in this day and age, what that one bitch look like? She looked like a fucking NPC from fucking Skyrim that was on G4.
On G4, yeah, she blew up, man. She's a meme right now.
Bro, she looked like a straight NPC, yo. She didn't have no y'all noticed that she didn't have no shaders on her face, yo. Because she came straight out of the fucking Xbox Series X. Like it didn't load, like her face textures didn't load. She talking about something, yo. They need help. Sony needs help. No, your textures need help.
Yeah, I think
your face didn't load all the way. You need that I/O processing.
I think what's going on is like people do respect Sony as a platform. They know how much it's worth when it comes to their games. It's just that the media's now realized like, hey, we can get more clicks if we bash Sony for the fun of it and just praise Xbox over and over again.
You know,
because in the day, these same people
bucking the trend.
It's a trend. The same, like last generation, all these media outlets were all saying, you know, don't buy Xbox One, X, Y, and Z and stuff. But now all of a sudden, those same people those fans who hated them last generation are loving them because it's speaking positive towards their platform.
Yo, you know what it is, man? You know what it is?
They're out there dancing for dicks. That's what it is.
No, like these guys, man. It's like it reminds me of like Floyd Mayweather, man. You know what I'm saying? Like for years, man, people were hyping him up, you know, and they're like, yo, this guy is like one of the best boxers out there, right? But eventually he got to a point where it was like, yo, motherfuckers wanted to see his ass lose, man. And then see, you know, whoever the new underdog is going to be. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people are kind of like playing into that right now. You know what I'm saying? Sony's been successful, obviously, and they're still successful. I don't know why people would even believe that they're not, but they're still successful. But Sony's been successful for so long. You know, I think a lot of people just want to see the underdog make their comeback. Essentially,
yeah,
you know
that's definitely true. I agree on you.
And I think the media is trying to benefit from it as much as they possibly can. You know, Sony needs help. So you know what I'm saying? Like, what?
But Ken,
bro, when that girl said,
"What's up?"
No, I'm saying the media only benefits from this shit because you PlayStation dudes keep going crazy every time an article comes out. You guys are the ones driving the clicks and shit. You guys are the one retweeting the shit, making these people famous. Like, if you guys just let it go and didn't bother with that shit, they wouldn't have any steam.
I will say this because
you're right.
Yeah, you're right. I will say that, but I will also say this. You know, when me and Josh first started doing this shit, we did have a heavier focus on some of that. We've been kind of moving more and more away from, you know, some of these like clickbaity, you know, topics. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, not you in general. I'm saying like the whole PlayStation community is always getting in the arms every time an article comes out. Like, bro, calm down.
Yeah, definitely true, man.
Every time anything opposes PlayStation, up in fucking arms and retweet, right?
But that's everybody, though.
I know it's everybody, but like that's
everybody.
I know that, but it needs to stop. Like, okay, it does. It needs to stop because all of it's not really genuine. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers just getting hyped the fuck up because they want. I mean, it is okay. So the clicks, the people that want the clicks, that's the part that's not genuine. People that saying that fucking Horizon Forbidden West look like Toy Story and shit like that. That's not genuine.
Nah, they said it looked like freaking Flintstones, man. They had the dinosaur theme song. I was laughing because I was like, I know they're gonna be mad as shit when that game drops and it scores higher than everything else they got. But,
or like I've been seeing people say shit like it looks like a Saturday morning cartoon. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about?
You already saw that shit, yo, Jemiah. Did you see what happened, Jemiah, with Forbidden West?
Wait, what happened?
You didn't see the new pictures of what they did?
You mean with the woman Flintstone?
Yo, send Jemiah the link.
I'm about to send it. Yo, she put on some makeup, yo. That bitch got her hair did everything, yo.
Yeah, she got her hair on, lipstick.
She got.
Hey, I posted that article about or that video.
She was tired. I said this earlier in the podcast, right? I was like, this is what happened when they first showed the state of play. What do you call it? Aaron. What's his name? I think it's Aaron. Aaron hit her up with that focus, right? He was like, yo, they're about to capture me, yo. She was like, oh, for fuck's sake. And she had to get up and she couldn't put her makeup on at that time. You know what I mean? So that's why she ran out the door real quick, and that's why she looked like she did. Now, she wasn't ugly. She just had no makeup on. Now, she going to the bar, you know what I'm saying? You know? She got her makeup on. She getting out. She got her hair did. I'm like, oh, she got a little beauty mark. They put a little mold on her side. Oh shit. We find out. She got her eyelashes done, too.
Like I said, like I keep saying, Horizon New Game Plus has a 2.5% completion rate. I'm not listening to none of these dudes because none of these dudes were Horizon fans when Zero Dawn was out. They said that Alien was boring. They said the game didn't have a story. Now all of a sudden, this shit got a actually fucking sequel. Everybody an Aloy fan. Like, I don't want to hear this shit from these dudes, bro. These dudes are frauds.
Yeah.
Man,
Yo.
I don't know, man. That game did really well for like a new IP. I think it sold like over 10 million.
People bought the game, but they didn't beat the game until recently. I seen dudes. If you go on YouTube right now, you'll see my first time ever playing Horizon. Like, what the fuck you wait? What the fuck? It's 2021, bro. What are you talking about? Like, this shit is. I don't like that type of shit in gamers. Like, shit when shit gets like a flashy sequel, all of a sudden everybody's fucking on board with the shit. Like, you guys weren't fans.
I ain't gonna say no names, but Hellblade 2.
Oh God! Don't get me started.
Exactly. That's a great example. That's a great example.
Nobody cared about that game, bro.
Bro, freaking. So
they making it seem like it's heaven on earth.
So the first thing I want to say is, right, did you guys see the file size for Horizon? Because that shit is
it's like 96 gigs, and that's without the first day patch.
And I believe that's with the crack and decompression technology.
Now it could not be because remember, Days Gone was hefty too, and then they put a patch out and cut it in half.
Yeah, on the PS4 that did happen.
Yeah. So don't get too hyped.
Days Gone was a big game though.
It was. It was
huge.
Days Gone was
getting good after the patches though, but it was really bad at launch.
So it was okay. Now let me say this because does anybody have anything else to say about the acquisitions?
I just wanted to say,
hey, I want to ask though, just real quick. Do y'all think Sony is gonna make a big purchase acquisition?
Not soon.
No, they don't.
I don't think they're gonna make like a big one. You know,
it ain't even really got to be like huge, but like like a acquisition that's gonna have people talking
like another Blue Point kind of acquisition.
Yeah, something like that.
I think they might. I think they might have like another one. Like another smaller one, but like a large
small one, yes, but nothing like Bethesda deal. That's not going to happen.
No, I don't think they need to anyway. They already have a large fucking it's good enough.
Sony has a good relationship with all that third party studios. Like look at Square Enix and Final Fantasy VII. The fact that the PS5 is the best platform to play that game right now, over a 3090, is insane.
Whoa! Say that again. I missed that. Say that again. Go back real quick.
We got PC versus PC. So that FF7 remakes on PC for at the Epic Game Store, but the PC version is very unoptimized, so it's missing a couple of settings. The performance is really bad on DirectX 12. You have to put in DirectX.
I see some guy playing that shit at 8K 60. No problems.
No problem.
Well, I posted that shit. If you look at my timeline, I posted that shit.
Oh shit, that's good.
Oh,
now, I was watching a Digital Foundry review of it, and they were just calling out where you have to do alternatives, like with mods, just so you can get the game to run at high settings.
Well, yeah, I mean, they modded it up, but like that's what we do on PC. My thing is people want to blame PC or say like, oh, a 3080 can't.
No. I'm not blaming PC hardware.
No, not you. I'm saying people in general. Well, how about you blame SquareSoft when Forspoken looks janky and shit? Everybody wants to talk shit about Squaresoft. Why do you say the PS5 can't run Forspoken? Well, the PS5 looks like it's underpowered. Forspoken can't even run properly on the PS5. But when it comes to PC, it's always this game can't run properly on a 3090. It's not the fucking hardware's fault, bro. It's the fucking the dev's fault. Like the devs should get all the blame.
Yeah, I'm blaming the devs. I'm just using FF7 as an example. How Sony
I'm not saying you though. I'm just saying like in general.
I hate when people always Jemiah was hype for that shit. He needed it.
Yeah. By the way,
go ahead.
Just to let y'all know, I did post that link in the thing so y'all can see that video that I was talking about earlier.
All right, cool. I'm gonna take a look at that. What you want to say, Ken? Because you always try to do that shit fucking every time I try to do something.
Cut you off right at the last minute. No, I was gonna say because someone mentioned about Hellblade, you know how people love that shit nowadays. That game in particular, man, was like it irritated me more so than usual, man, because I had watched that game evolve from like where it literally first started, from when it was like pre-alpha and it was still concept, and they were talking about how they had no fucking money to make the game, all the way up until launch. You know what I'm saying? So I watched that shit for years, man, before the game came out. And then all of a sudden when Microsoft and actually when it came out, it really didn't even sell that well. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people weren't even on that shit, you know? But then as soon as Microsoft acquires that shit, man, motherfuckers are like so hyped about it. I'm like, bro,
Yeah,
come on.
nobody was talking about it when it was on PlayStation.
No, they said it was a walking simulator.
Yeah, like nobody. I'm saying, like, bro, really?
They said it was DLC based and walking simulator.
Yeah, they said that the combat was horrible and all this shit.
The combat is horrible, and it was a stupid concept. And then as soon as Microsoft purchased it,
yeah,
God of War competition. I'm saying,
what did they say? Fucking Ninja Theory was Naughty Dog superior or some shit. It's like, get the fuck.
Now I have problems with Naughty Dog, but sit the fuck down for that.
Look. I know you have problems with Naughty Dog, man, but you cannot say Ninja Theory is better than them as far as development wise.
Ain't nobody can say that shit. That shit is pure stupidness.
That is just
I'm about to be out though. I gotta take my ass back to work.
All right, man.
All right, bro.
All right, thanks. Thanks for having me here.
All right. No problem. Man. Anytime, man.
Yeah, peace out, bro.
All right. So just to let you guys know, join the Discord. The Discord, you know, we want to get this shit popping. So if you guys want to have extended conversations about, you know, stuff, or, you know, starting different spaces and stuff like that, or, you know, just want to put out your, you know, your ideas and stuff like that, we'd be happy to have you with the Discord and the link here. And we're going to move on to our last topic here, which, as you already know, this is the off-topic section. So I have a couple questions for you guys. It's not going to be anything heavy, so relax. I know y'all motherfuckers don't like heavy shit. Motherfuckers are scared to talk about heavy shit, but, you know, I mean, it's cool. So what I'm going to ask you guys, let me just get this shit up and running so I could do this for YouTube and I can know where the video splits and stuff like that. All right, cool. So just to let you guys know, I'm going to, what the fuck happened? Okay. Anyway, he left out of there. That's what it was.
Hear you.
Say again?
I said we hear you just fine.
So this I'm gonna try not to make this a very long topic, but I need your guys' opinions on certain things. And if you guys don't know, this is the time where we talk about, you know, bettering ourselves as men in general. So I have a couple questions for you guys. The first thing I want to do is ask game type. Game type. Are you in a relationship currently?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are you in a relationship currently?
No.
Now, I'm going to ask this question because the title is going to be the type of drip that you would need to acquire that. Now, are you looking for somebody in particular, or you don't give a fuck right now?
Nah, I ain't looking to be in no relationship.
Damn, you a player, yo. Escort season.
Nah, man, it's really just, you know, that ain't my focus right now. I'm trying to do other things, so, you know.
But you a man. Isn't that what all men want? Isn't that what they say?
A relationship and like messing with somebody is two totally different things.
You're that little twang you put it there. You already know what it means.
You know,
so yeah. What were you want to say?
I said, you know how I do, man.
Now, for me personally, I want to ask this. This is not a heavy topic. It really isn't. It's not going to be a heavy topic. So, do you go out to like bars or anything like that?
I used to, but as of late, no, I don't.
How do you acquire your feminine company?
What do you mean? I have like.
So like,
do I go out and meet them or something like that?
Exactly.
Yeah, but you know, I'm in a small city too, so you know, I know a lot of people. So you know.
So they was already there. So okay, cool.
Can't
So
be
what do
talking
you?
to everybody.
So Ken is also in a small area too. So what do you typically have for your drip?
Like as far as like clothing and stuff like that.
Your swag. Yeah. What do you typically use when you in these places?
I mean, like you talking about like a specific brand or like
The type of clothes, like brand. You can just go brand. Or your style.
like Ralph Lauren, Nike. I mean, it really just depends. I'm not buying like crazy expensive stuff, but I ain't dressing like I ain't wearing like no. I ain't trying to offend nobody, but I ain't wearing like no cheap stuff either. So, it really just depends.
Do you find that women like necklaces and earrings and shit like that?
Yeah.
You feel like that's what they kind of like. What about you, DeAndre? Are you in a relationship currently?
I'm actually married.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So my profile, I've been with my fiance. We've been in a relationship for like 10 years, pretty much right out of college, and working on buying a house and stuff with her. So I've been making a lot of moves for a while.
So
go ahead.
So I was going to ask you, what does she like in terms of your kind of clothing and shit like that?
For her interest, she likes that I dress like semi-casual, semi-professional. Like I don't wear suit and ties every day, but I'll wear like dress pants and like a plaid shirt. Occasionally, I'll wear jeans and I'll wear a T-shirt with one design on it. And I usually shop at places like Mint. Freaking Express for Men. You heard that store?
Got you. Yep.
I live in the U.S. I wasn't sure if everyone's from the U.S., but I shop there a lot for most of my attire, for shirts, for everyday casual shirts or jeans and stuff. But she prefers me wearing, like regular size jeans, like slim regular jeans and plaid shirts are just solid button up shirts and stuff.
Now, the reason why I'm asking this, just in case anybody would want to know what the fuck, like why is this left field, right? I have a friend, right? His issue is that he is extremely, and this is what I want to do. Like this last section, he's a crazy gamer like we are, right? The issue with him is that he is extremely antisocial. He's so antisocial, in fact, that he feels the need to just not even try. Like it's the most basic shit ever. He dresses like a rock star, essentially. Not rock star, excuse me. If he could have leather pants, that's what he would wear. And I've been trying to tell, like for real, like the real.
I know you're talking about.
He has Harley, like he don't even ride a motorcycle, but he has Harley Davidson boots, the jeans. Like the little on Kratos, right? He has like the little forearm guards, whatever the fuck it is.
So does he shot a Hot Topic?
Hell no. He doesn't.
That nigga's probably been wearing the same shirt for like 10 years, bro.
Bro, that's essentially. I don't want to throw him under the bus, but I do. This nigga need milk. And I'm trying to
my advice to him as like your friend is just because he games, he needs to surround himself by other gamers and even female gamers. Go to convention centers, especially for people who are like fans of anime or fans of comic books. Because if he's around other people who are like-minded as him, he can have that encounter with a female that has the same interest. So you don't have to go through a battle of trying to figure out like, does she think this is cool or not? It's like if you're already there at a convention center and it's about the same topic, he already knows, oh, what is your show? What game you like to play? It's real quick for him to connect. So my advice to you is just bring him out to those places. Because at the end of the day, even if he doesn't get that connection with the female that one time, he'll still have a good experience seeing everyone else who's a fan of the same thing.
But hold on. Remember I told you before, this dude is antisocial.
Like he refuses to go outside?
It's extremely hard to get him to go outside. And when he does, this is what I want to tell you what he wears. like Walmart. He makes guap too. Walmart blue jeans, Harley Davidson boots because he works for like warehouse. And the dude is not old either. He just cracked 30, right? So Harley Davidson boots, black, right? You know when you play God of War, PS4, right? And Kratos has like those little forearm guards. He has like these clasp things on his shoulder. I mean, on his forearm. He has very long hair, and he'll wear like a gamer shirt that says Doom on there. Anything rock, he'll wear. That's his attire. And I've been trying to get this dude to update himself. This nigga need a patch update. Seriously, he is out of date.
Yeah, man, you gotta know how to get spiffy one time.
That's what I was trying to tell him. But his thing is this, right? And Bryce, if you want to say something, please do. You just jump in. So I think you already heard me. So the thing is, here we go. Go on, man.
My bad. No, okay. So here's my
help this dude out, please.
No. Okay, so to just like get with what you're saying, like I was in that situation like him. Okay. Before I even I'm married to my wife right now, right? Mm-hmm. Before I even met her, I did not care about anything that I was wearing. Now I wasn't dressing like how your friend is dressing right now, but I did not care, right? It didn't matter what I had on. Like I just didn't, I have no reason to like dress up or anything. I didn't feel like there was a reason for it, right? What was the point? All right. But then something happened where the fact where inside myself, I wanted to be better, right? So that I could go out and like, talk to women, talk to people, just like look presentable. But that was something that I had to do myself. And then also like once I met my wife was the one that was like getting me into like all the brand names now and stuff like that. Cause she's from New York. So that's all they do up there, but like she got me into
fashion out the ass.
Yeah. So she got me like in all that stuff now. But and that all stems from like back in the day as well. Like my dad was super cheap with stuff, so he didn't buy us like all the flashiest stuff that was out. I wanted it when I was little, but I knew I couldn't have it. So like it just carried on till later in life. But there has to be somebody like you. Either if you're not being able to do it, then you have to get like some type of like feminine aspect or somebody that can like push that onto him, so that it can feel like it's like a thing where he's like, oh, okay, if I dress like this is what could happen. It has to be something like that. Like it's sort of moment, a moment has to happen like that for him in order for him to be like, okay, I got to change how I'm doing in order to, because right now he's in his own world, and his own world don't need that. It doesn't require anything of that nature. If you get what I'm saying.
He is so stubborn. Like,
but
everything.
You know what, man? Because I know what you're talking about. Like, what he'll do is he'll complain about it, but not change. Like, not make any concerted effort to change.
I know exactly. I was like that too. But it was like I said, it's a moment, man. You have to create a moment for him to realize, like, oh, like this is what could happen if I change my sense of style. This is what could happen if, if I do this, like it looks good or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to be a moment where he experiences it himself, because he's not going to do it on his own.
And even when it comes to the gym, because I work out a lot. Even when it comes to the gym, even if anything really, he looks at people with contempt and disgust. And the reason why is he thinks that he don't like popular shit.
Yes.
So anything that's popular, he's going to buck the trend just because people like it, because he feels like everybody is sheeple, right? That's the issue. I was so mad at him. Like everybody says, like, Josh, you looking at this too deeply. I told him years ago, I said, bro, pick up Bloodborne. I don't want to play that shit. Everybody want to be on there. Y'all just want to be the whole, y'all just want the game because you just want to prove yourself. That's so fucking stupid. I can't stand that game. I was like, yo, buy the game, right? So fast forward to PS5, right? Mm-hmm. One of the worst Souls games that he picks up, which is Demon Souls, right? He goes ahead and he's like, "Well, I'm just going." He said, "I'm going."
Well,
I'm
time
good.
out, man. Demon Souls not the worst.
Out of all of them,
it's definitely not the worst. Everyone knows Dark Souls 2 is the worst.
I said one of the worst.
Demon Souls nowhere near the worst.
You said which one is the worst?
He's calling Demon Souls the worst out of Souls games. It's
one of the worst. So here's the thing, right? It's not as polished as the other one. When I say worse, I mean just the polish isn't there.
Because it's the foundation of the series.
Exactly. That's my point, right?
It's not as refined
still a great game.
No, I'm not. I never said it was bad. I just said it's the worst out of them. That don't mean it's bad.
Story. It's cool.
That don't mean it's bad. It's just not as refined as the other ones. Fine. He picks up that game. Then he starts spamming me on PSN with a whole bunch of fucking pictures. I can't believe this game is so good. It's so good. And I was like, bro, I can't talk to him for like a week. I just couldn't do it. I was so frustrated because I was like, fucking 10 years ago, I told you to pick up the fucking game. You didn't do it. All because everybody else playing it.
Oh my God.
That's the kind of, I literally was like, oh, I have to give this dude a break. And I'll come back to him within a week and I'm just going to just completely decimate his ass. So, hey, fucking yo for me. I just pause moment. Pause. So,
I'm going to destroy that ass.
I didn't mean it like that. So, but that's how he is. His issue is he's stubborn as hell. This dude, he's also, and no knock to anybody that's religious or anything like that. I might bring a religious talk in there. But this dude, I know he's religious. And he was like, he was telling me, he was praying for a girl. And I'm like, nigga.
Bro, this is so
how do you think this bitch is going to materialize out of thin fucking air?
Yes, he do. I've been there before. Yes, he do.
And then he got mad. I can't believe it. So he was on some straight Kratos God of War 1 on PS2 moment. The gods of Olympus have abandoned me. Nah, nigga. You stuck in your fucking room. Get the fuck out and get some decent clothes. That Doom shirt is 17 years old.
You know what I think, man? I think
Stop. A whole nigga went from kindergarten to 12th grade in the same span that shirt existed.
Yo, bro.
Bro, at this point, you also tell you pretty much love it, man. It's crazy how much you feel right now.
I know.
I mean,
honestly
though, man, I think a lot of people kind of expect like some of this shit to just kind of happen, though. You know what I mean? Like they see in movies and shit. Like they just they think they're gonna walk into a goddamn coffee shop or something, and they're gonna see this girl and they're gonna lock eyes.
It's gonna be like Matrix. Have we met?
Them? Yeah, just like that. Yeah. Just like you like it fucking happens, but I'm just saying, like, you know, I feel like a lot of people are just they expect like they're gonna like go to the park or some shit, like see some girl, like they're gonna lock eyes, and then there's gonna be like love at first sight, and they're like, yo, that's the one. You know, I'm like, come on, nah, it just doesn't work like that.
He's in his own world right now.
I'll say it again. Who said what?
Has everybody seen the new Spider-Man yet in here?
Yes, I saw it.
I just saw it last night.
Yeah, I saw it too.
No, because I was gonna say, because dude was bringing up about how like it's just gonna happen, like somebody had walked in the coffee shop, and it just reminded me at the end, if y'all know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
and
that's what they think. That's what they think.
Hi, my name is Peter Parker, and
right.
Yeah, like the type of shit that he was looking for. Now, don't get it wrong. I'm single, right? And I'm single for my own reasons. I got my own fucking issues. Like I have hardcore commitment issues, but it's not about me. Shit, it's not about me. It's about this nigga. You know, I got my own shit to worry about. But in his particular case, my whole point with having your drip game on fleek, that's the problem. I said, I get it. I said, I get it. I said, but
you ain't gotta wear the most expensive shit either. You ain't gotta.
It just needs to. It just needs to
presentable.
It just needs to be put together properly. So, and it needs to be in your style. And he has to learn that. And believe it or not, having your own style, that's hard to kind of think of. You know, that's a thing that you have to think about what you look like. in which your body style or body type would be best in. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like easy to really just kind of have your own thing.
I was actually going to say something about that too, man, because I think some people, like, I don't think it's that they don't want to have like a good style. I just think, you know, some like me, for example, right? You know, years ago, right? I was cognizant of my style, but I could never find something that quite like fit, you know, my body type per se. You know what I'm saying? At the time, you know, because I was always, because I was, you know, I was a bigger dude, man, at the time. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I obviously I got in the gym and, you know, I kind of beefed up and shit like that. But, you know, at one point, like I was just like really just like, I didn't know what I wanted and I didn't know what would like fit me, you know, or what would work well with me. You know what I'm saying? So, and it wasn't because I wasn't like cognizant of it. It's just I couldn't really like figure out where I kind of like fit in there. You know what I'm saying? So,
right, and it's not easy because you can't just throw any fucking like, you know what I mean? If I want to dress like Carlton, it's not going to work out for me. You know what I'm saying? It's not me. He has long. He's a white dude. He has long hair, like all the way down to his waist. It's long, and that's part of his personality. And I'm like, you don't have to get rid of that, but the rest of that shit needs to go for sure.
yo.
That whole your whole wardrobe would be thrown. Give it to Goodwill.
We need to give that shit to Guerrilla Games, yo.
Throw that shit in the trash. I'm like, your drip game is that shit is negative. That is overdrawn drip game. That shit, like he needs to fight. He needs to modernize himself. I said, for your job, since you work at a warehouse, okay, so I get the Harley Davidson shoes. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna need the steel toe stuff. And even then, I can't even say that. Nigga, buy yourself some Timberlands, yo.
Hey, you know what drives me insane? I had a dude that I used to work with, and we made good money, like where we was working, because we were working at the aircraft, right?
Right.
So, we went out one time, went out to a bar or whatever, and he had on these busted ass shoes. I'm talking holes in them, and I'm sitting here like, Nick, if you don't go get you some shoes, bro. Like, that's one thing I can't stand. Like, when people make excuses for stuff like that, I'm like, bruh, there's no reason for your shoes to look like that. I don't care what kind of shoes you got on. They ain't gotta be, the most expensive or nothing. You could have on some $5 shoes, but man, damn, you going out, make sure them motherfuckers is clean.
Like you can't
don't tell me you ain't got no money, because nigga, I know you got money.
Shit, you work where I work. The fuck?
Exactly. So I'm like, bro. Hey,
so like what we not going to do? What we not going to do is act like you gonna roll with that, bro. So that's the thing. Like
that's all laziness, bro. That's all.
Yeah.
Like, that's all laziness,
you
man.
You ain't got the decency to go get a decent pair of shoes, bro. Like come on, man.
So here's the thing. Like if anybody wants to know, like every time we do this on Thursdays, the last subject is going to be an off-topic one, and it's going to be kind of red pillish. But here's the thing. One of the reasons why people act the way that they act, like guys act the way that they act, is because of that whole red pill situation. Now, I'm no simp, never will be, and will never happen, right? But that still doesn't give you, and I know there's girls that are fucked up in this field, like really fucked up, right? That's not an excuse to just take me as I am. That don't work that way. Like, as a man, we are hunters. And you need the appropriate tools to hunt. You're not going to fish with no bait at all. Just a fucking hook. That don't work that way. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have, they like the flashy stuff. You don't have to go crazy. I mean, yeah, you can increase your chances if you have a nice little bling watch. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? A little necklace, maybe get your ears pierced or whatever the case is to elevate your game. But that's even then, that's not necessary. But you can't run around with some Walmart nigga look like he is in a retirement home. No, let me tell you, he look like he's in a straight retirement home. How you gonna have those? How you gonna have? Huh?
Somebody else dressed him for him.
No, it was like his clothes are practical. It's so practical. It's like if I shit on myself, you ain't gonna know it. You know what I mean? Like these jeans, I can just throw these shit out and get another one for like $3. That type of shit. Like
God.
you literally are dressing up as if you were in a retirement home or a nursing home. Those light blue pants that you find at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Those,
Like
you know, those denim ones that the old white people cuff up at the fucking ankles. That type of shit.
I hate the way those look, man. I cannot do that shit, man.
I don't even like the way it hangs on the fucking rack. Like I wish they would get rid of that shit altogether, but that's how this dude dressed. And you have, like I said before, a 17, 18-year-old shirt that you don't even. Nigga didn't want to get a new cell phone. He's like, yo, fuck these cell phones. Everybody got a cell phone. Everybody's on social media. I get it. The novelty is fine, whatever the case is. But this dude is going crazy on this shit. You know, when he didn't want to get a cell phone, he just recently got a cell phone. You have your hair completely out. I'm like, nigga, I'm gonna need you to Laura Croft braid that shit or something. You got hair blowing all over the fucking place, man. It's going to need to look present.
You gotta make sure your shit is tight. You gotta make sure you up to, you know.
Now I'm not white. I don't got that hair, but like if it was me, you know what I'm saying? I would have braided that shit. Put a little bit of mousse to slick it back a little bit more, add a little shine to it. You know what I mean? Pop my collar, you know?
It's like when dudes get dreads and don't even get retwists. They go like 6 months without getting a retwist. I'm just like, bro.
Cut that shit off.
Yeah, please cut it off. Just cut it off.
Just be done with it. Just be done with it.
That's stupid. That's dumb.
Now, I know for me, like everybody's like, why don't you get dreads, Josh? Why don't you get that? Well, because I swim too much. And I can make my shit look presentable. I'm not always actively out. For me personally, like if people must know, I don't like clingy women. So that's what makes me not want to jump into the field like that. You know what I'm saying? Because what this woman is going to do is compromise my hobbies. And I get it. It's a give and take when you're in a relationship. But I have shit that I like doing these podcasts. I like playing my video games. You know what I'm saying? I like going to the gym.
They hate that shit.
All of that. They hate all of it.
They can't stand niggas that play video games.
It's
a waste of time. But they'll be on that.
You just got to find a woman that's going
for all day.
Yeah, but they'll be playing fucking some dumbass mobile game though for like hours.
That's my wife, bro. My wife's the same way.
Yeah, exactly.
You just gotta find a woman. You just gotta find a woman that tolerates it. That's all.
And Bryce,
go ahead.
I was gonna say Bryce. I'm not sure it was Bryce or DeAndre. That is a very good advice. Like I said before, this is not quite red pill, but it is something that will help out people in this particular field because there's this gaming industry or this gaming hobby. There are a whole bunch of awkward people, including myself. I don't give a fuck what I look like. You know what I'm saying? I do work out, but I am still awkward, socially awkward. And these are the things that people need to know. It's not all about shitting on women. You know what I'm saying? It's not all about that. You got to work on yourself too. Like it's not a lot of dudes want validation from the red pill sites, the Kevin Samuel shit, just to prove their point. To say that this is the reason why, but you can't be looking like you're in a nursing home and then never go out and then you complain that you can't get a chick. That's definitely not going to help your case.
Yeah, see, that's some of the issues that I have with some of those guys, man, because you know they go to these guys, man, to just kind of like confirm their own bias. You know what I mean? And then like, see, don't get me wrong though, because like I feel like some of this, there's some of this red pill shit I think is pretty necessary because like it kind of gives you an idea of like how things are happening on the field. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. Like some of this shit does happen, right? But I think what happens also is that these niggas will come in here and they will just sit there and listen and, you know, just kind of formulate this mindset like, yo, you know, fuck them hoes, fuck them bitches, you know what I'm saying? And then never fucking do anything about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
never look back at like that sometimes.
I ain't gonna lie. A lot of these red pill niggas that go to these Kevin Samuels and Fresh and Fit, I'm gonna be honest with you. The way that they move and operate, you hate women so much, nigga, go gay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Go gay then.
Might as well. Nigga.
You either go gay or you either fix yourself in terms of what you do.
That's what.
I ain't gonna lie though. I actually listened to this one thing that Kevin Samuels did. He was talking to a dude, and he
Right.
straight up killed dude. Like
You talking about the one where he was talking about he's a fat dude? He was fat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've
God,
seen that.
was
Yeah, we all.
Now dog, he deconstructed
Yeah.
this dude to the atomic level, yo.
Yeah.
And like I said, he like people say that he be just doing it, like he just be killing. I be like, man, I don't know, man. He be going in on the dudes too when he talking
He
about
don't
them.
he don't do the dudes necessarily because that's a and I watch his shit. I watch it for
Well, it's mostly women that are calling in anyway.
they're calling in and they're calling in and they want to smoke and they
have the
sound
biggest
stupid.
problem. They have
And
the
they
biggest
sound
problem. That's all.
and they sound stupid. They sound real dumb in terms of you're right. They have the biggest problem. That's a big issue. But that doesn't exclude you from correcting your own actions. Like again, you can't be a fat broke ass. Well, maybe you can because apparently women seem to like that. But at least you try to make the better yourself. You know?
Yeah. Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you are going to talk, like, I mean, for me, you know, I would like to have, you know, a family and all the other shit, but I don't want to babysit a grown ass person. You know what I mean? The relationships you don't. Like what you said, go to places where you have things in common, and it won't, and you can alleviate a whole bunch of issues. But you got to look the part too. Yeah. Those things go hand in hand. I'm so glad that you mentioned that shit too, because it really works out. But more importantly, when it comes to these situations where, like for me personally, what I mean by babysitting, a lot of these women act like they're toddlers. They get into like this situation where they go into temper tantrum mode because they don't get their way. They fold their arms. They don't want to say anything. They want to be babysat. You can't go anywhere. You can't do shit at all. Sit with me, lay with me. I'm like, God damn it.
But as a man, you can't enjoy nothing either.
Like you can't enjoy nothing.
You're supposed to be miserable. Like you can't do.
You're supposed to be. She's supposed to be the sun, and you're supposed to just revolve around a lot of these chicks. Now the problem here, it is a plenty those type of chicks, but there are chicks out there that are totally independent, like truthfully independent, not this fake independent where you say that I have my own business. Oh, I have my own business, but I'm an Uber driver. No, bitch, you're an Uber driver.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. Yeah, I feel like you're absolutely correct. What you have to do is, and you hit on a good point. What you have to do is you have to know yourself. If you're going to be out here trying to find people, you have to first of all, in order to have a healthy relationship, you have to be ready for yourself has to be ready for that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't be out here. If you're still trying to figure yourself out, it's not a good time to get into a relationship. I think that's where a lot of people fall into the trap because then that ends up letting you get with a person that dictates, you know, the relationship or something bad happens that way. If you're not comfortable with yourself, I don't think you should be jumping into it. And it took me forever to realize that. But
it's so facts. Like, it's so facts. Like
you have to weed out people. Like you have to know what you stand for, so you can weed out certain people, so that you don't have to deal with certain shit. You know what I'm saying?
Like my friend, he is not ready for a relationship, even with drip and shit like that. This dude would end up worshiping the girl because he doesn't know himself.
Yeah,
he'll try to do everything to please this chick, right? Mm-hmm. And then get cheated on because he's doing too much.
Yes.
And that's a hot commodity too. So I'll tell you a story before we wrap it up, right? You know, I'm all full of fucking stories like an old ass 37-year-old man, right? That's how old I am. So my situation was this, right? I work out in the gym. And I wasn't going to say anything. I'm just doing my own thing. I'm doing an incline bench, right? And this girl comes casually right next to me, right? So I'm like, oh, it look like she wants something. What you trying to do? So I go over there and she's doing like bench pressing. Well, you know, if you go to the gym, it is so rare for a girl to bench press and not squat. She was actually doing a full body workout. So I take one ear off of my headset and I go up to her. I say, hey, I don't want to interrupt you, but I've never seen this. a girl actually doing something other than squats. She starts laughing and shit like that, right? And, she was really receptive. She was really cool about this shit. She was like, no. I usually have to do everything. I'm trying to go to, I think she said Cancun or something like that. And I'm trying to get my body right. And I was like, oh, you're going with a whole entourage? She says, nah, yeah, I'm going with a whole bunch of people. So I was like, all right, cool. So we started talking. And I was like, well, how long you were doing it, blah, blah, blah. It was a very short conversation. But at the end, I asked her, I was like, well, I figured, you're a real pleasant person. Let me, you have a dude or whatever the case is, right? And she says, I actually do. Right? She says he's sick right now. And that's why I'm at the gym alone. Cool, right? I said, but it's cool. You're still pretty. You still got it going on. Don't change. I ain't taking it back. You cute, right? She says, why don't you hit me up when I break up with him?
Oh, see, that's a red flag. What the hell?
Oh, stop, yo.
What in the world?
Nah.
I bet you didn't see that shit coming.
I kind of did because you always have the fucked up stories, but yeah, I kind of feel like
Yeah, you gotta know your worth as a king, man. Because in the day, the woman ain't yours.
Yeah, bro.
Now I told this to Ken and shit like that, right? And the thing about with Ken, he was like, well, I probably would have said something. And he asked me, why didn't you say anything? Or why didn't you get her number? And she kind of waited for me to ask, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember what I told you earlier in this conversation, that I do want to go have a relationship. And that's not relationship material at all.
Hell no.
You can't trust me.
You can't. But it goes to show you her dude is sick.
Yes.
Could have been with COVID, and she's looking for another dick.
It is kind of fucked up. Look, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, there's this chick I was talking to. No, that I am talking to. But I when I pulled up to her, man, I asked her, like, for her number and all that shit, right? And she gave it to me, and she started telling me about how she had a dude, and
she did it late though. She did it late. She didn't just off rip tell you that she had a dude and then gave you the number.
When I asked for it, she was like, oh, I got a significant other, blah blah blah. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, it is kind of fucked up, but
that's crazy.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
I'm not surprised though.
I'm gonna tell you right now, for a guy, on the guy's perspective, never ever, karma will fuck you up. You're gonna keep fucking around with girls, and you're gonna fall for the right one, and it's gonna happen to you, and you'll be like, wow, why is this happening to me? And remember, you go all the way back. Mm-hmm. But it's crazy because that's just. I was like, have a nice day and shit like that. But here's the thing, though. I also have a friend. He traveled a long distance with this girl, or to see this girl.
Oh yeah, I know which story. Oh man,
I ain't gonna go too deeply in it, but a long distance.
Please don't tell me it was 1,000 miles, bro.
Bro, it's fucked up. It's fucked up.
It's probably about 2,000 miles.
Yeah, it's more
around there. So I'm gonna leave it at that point.
Oh God,
motherfucker uprooted his whole life to go to this person. Person was polluted at work with all the work boyfriends and shit like that, and she ended up cheating on him after marriage.
Mm-mm-mm.
The dude went into a spiral and became. He tried to delete his saved profile. If you catch the drift, he tried to delete his profile. And luckily, he went to therapy and stuff like that, and he got out of that rut. But that's why I'm like this. Like my friend, the one that he dresses up like he's in a nursing home. He ain't ready for that type of shit. Because if he falls for the girl. And he has these self-deletion type tendencies anyway. But if he falls for the girl and it goes awry, he probably will do it.
Oh yeah, man. I know exactly where your friend's been at. I have a cousin just like that, and we went our separate ways because I had figured out that that's not where in order to get where I wanted to be at, I had to change myself. But my cousin stayed the same way he is. He's still doing the same exact thing like your
Miserable.
friend's doing right now.
Miserable.
Yeah, you know.
Now,
And yeah, it's
now
crazy.
I'll say this. Now I don't know. I mean, I don't fuck with this dude anymore as a friend because he became like self-hating. You know, when it came to well, not self-hating, but hating other people.
Right.
So I think I said this before, but he ended up asking a girl out, you know, for marriage or whatever the case is. And to make a long story short, she cheated on him before they even got married. Like I would say, like a couple months before.
Oh my.
But he told me about it because he caught them fucking in the van.
Oh God, Jesus.
He gets mad.
Oh God, Jesus!
he gets so upset. And he's like, give me my ring back and all this other stuff. And he's calling me, and I'm hearing the argument. I'll call you back, Josh. So I end up hitting him up in the morning, and I'm like, I said, yo, what happened? Yo, we talked about it. You know what I mean? It was kind of crazy because she said that he was raping her and stuff like that. And I was like, don't believe this, bro. I was like.
No.
I was like, so he was like, what do you mean raping? He pulled my pants down and he started to eat me out. And
I think you told me about this.
You remember that, right?
Yeah.
He started to eat me out and I didn't want that. And
okay, yeah, this does sound familiar now. Okay.
That was the one.
Okay.
It was
crazy, bro.
Bro, he ended up going to therapy, marrying her. And she cheated so many different times, and then told him they had a kid at the time. She told him, she was like, "Listen, I'll stop."
Lord.
She was like, "I'll stop cheating if I have another kid. I just want to really, really be a mom. I mean, I know I have this kid, but if I have another kid, maybe it'll stop me from cheating."
Oh my God.
And then he ended up having another kid, and that's when I kind of cut it off with him because he was like dragging me into that misery. But more importantly, on Christmas days, I used to live with him. I used to room with him because she didn't want to pay the rent at all or the mortgage, any part of it, and they needed help. So I'll go over there, and I'm sitting there like, hey, fine, I'll go over here and I'll do. I was living with my sister at the time. This was like years ago, almost 10 years ago, and
Wait, how old were you at the time? You mind me asking?
I was probably like 25.
Okay, cool.
Or 25, 26 or something like that. And I think she was 21 or something of that nature. So anyway, we're in the house and stuff like that. And she gets mad at him. And she's still talking to the same dude that she claimed that raped her a year, 2 years later. And she gets mad at him because he found out that she was still talking to him. So he took her phone because he's paying for it anyway. Sorry. He talked to her one friend, and her friend was like, you don't deserve this. He should have taken your phone. Come with me, sis. She goes with her friend, and she was like, my brother is looking for another chick and stuff like that, and he won't treat you this way. So on Christmas Eve, she left her daughter behind and her husband to cheat on another dude, or to cheat on him with another dude. And it didn't work out because he was flipping the bean with her, right? And it smelled bad. So she just spent the night over there on Christmas
flipping the
Eve.
bean. Okay, I'm a little confused what that stands for.
He's fingering her.
Oh shit, thanks.
So that's what I mean. So it
out here dancing for dicks.
It can get bad in terms of out there, but you got to make sure, as you guys adequately put, make sure you're secure and you're set up, and you go into relationships knowing what you want. But more importantly, it starts with the appearance. You know what I'm saying? The appearance will cause a chain reaction till now you look the part. Now I got to act the part. And then if you start acting the part, then you create a whole bunch of habits. Then that habits changes into, ways that you can basically, kind of strengthen your own self. And that will allow for you to, be able to talk to women.
Does he have any other friends like besides you? I mean, I'm not asking.
No, he does. He does. But the problem with him is that he is super, super antisocial. So I kind of know how he ticks in general because I've known him for so long. You know what I'm saying? And then that's how that happened. You know, I'll get him all the time when it comes to him start bitching and acting stupid.
So,
But yeah.
so my question is, when with his other friends, right? Are they also like him? You know, antisocial?
Nope. He's mad at them because they can go to bars and drink real quick and socialize. And he's like, that's so stupid. You're just doing typical stuff. And I want to do, you know, y'all doing things that everybody else is doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of with Bryce on this one, man, because it seems like he just hasn't had his realization yet, man. Because if he's around people who you know, who are outgoing, you know, they go places, you know what I'm saying? They're not antisocial. Like, that's one of the things you got to fix, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're around people who bring you down, like, you have to have a good circle of people that'll help bring you up. You know what I mean? But if you have that shit, if you have that shit and then you still, you know what I'm saying? Like, it has no effect on you, man, then I don't know. It's almost like he has to kind of like figure that shit out on his own, man.
I actually told him, I said, listen, I told him that a couple of days ago. I said, it's not just you being negative that's annoying. I said, that rubs off on people. And you're dragging me down with that negativity. I said, you know, like I said, every time you're getting pissed off about your outcomes and you don't want to talk to no fucking body. And then I'm going to have to keep asking you, like, we're fucking married. What the fuck's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What happened? Fuck now. What happened? What happened? Then you get back to me a week later. No, you know, I was having an issue here. You know what I'm saying? I'm good now. I said, dude, you are. What did Joe say on The Last of Us Part 1? You trading on some mighty tonight. Bro, I was like, you keep this shit up, yo. I'm gonna have to cut you off. I said, I didn't tell him that. I ain't told him that. I said, but you were in that direction. That's making me not want to fuck with you.
Yeah.
I said, you stubborn on stupid shit. And you super fucking negative. And you're dragging everybody else down. I said, that's a real fucking energy, my dude.
And then on top of that, not wanting to take the steps to change it. Like that's another whole
or half-ass it. You can't half-ass shit. Oh, you know what I'll do? You know what I'll do? I'll just change my t-shirt.
Instead of Doom, it's AC/DC. It's like, nigga,
fucking AC/DC, Megadeth, and fucking Judas, Metallica, Judas Priest, and shit like that. I'm like, bro, stop.
Oh my
God. He got to know about the energy shit, because like if you go out too, that's a thing too. Like the women are gonna come to you if you're a positive like vibe.
Oh yeah,
that's how you get attracted to their. You know?
Yeah, me and Josh talk about this shit all the time, man. You know,
that
like
shit is really real.
Yeah, bro, like positive energy and like body language. Yo, that shit is that is a fucking game changer, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That shit will.
Now, I'll swear this is the last thing we're going to end it. And thank you guys for showing up, retweeting and everything like that. This is going to be on YouTube as well. All this conversation is on YouTube, so I'm going to post this. Ken is going to retweet it, and then you guys can follow suit, whatever the case is. Right? So this last thing, I like animals a lot. And I wish I could get a dog, but I don't have enough time for it, right? But I'll, from time to time, look at how sentient animals are. It's kind of crazy. So this guy, they call him a dog whisperer. His name is Caesar, right? And this guy is really, really good with dogs, right? And one of the issues was this dog would refuse to leave his kennel for the owner's boyfriend, right? As a matter of fact, when the owner's boyfriend tries to handle the dog, she shits herself in the kennel. She's terrified of him. And so what this dog whisperer had to do is he had to literally train the human so the dog could behave better. His body language was so oppressive and so standoffish, right? It was so standoffish that the dog could sense it. He was like, bro, stand up straight, look forward, relax your shoulders, open your arms out a little bit. Stop with the pressure. Light touches, light pulls, light tugs. Relax, nigga, relax. He didn't say nigga, he's Mexican, but relax, nigga. Once he did that, the dog could sense that he was relaxed because it was making the dog go on high alert every time he was around him. And the same thing too. One of the things that blew my mind, like they say that body language is good for people, right? Even for guys, we gotta stand up, chest up, you know what I mean? Shoulders out when it comes to like men. But I never thought a woman's body language could affect a guy either. I don't know why I didn't think about that shit. That's what makes a lot of guys not want to speak to women nowadays, because people in general don't know that body language is so effective at relaying shit. When a woman don't want to make eye contact with you, looks down, kind of scrunched up, walks quickly, that makes you not even want to fucking talk to her. It's like I'm bothering her apparently because she doesn't look approachable. The same thing could be switched when it comes to a man. A man can't look fucked up either in terms of body language. You just can't. You can't. It's important.
Yeah, because if you look down, like looking down and stuff like that, that's actually proven to be like a turnoff, because it kind of gives off like a beta tendency that
it's beta.
Yeah, you don't want to take any confrontation. You try to avoid confrontation and stuff like that.
And that's what we're going to talk about like next week when we have the show. We're going to talk like a lot more in depth with body language, because that's super fucking important. You know what I'm saying? It's really, really important to make sure. I know you guys have women and shit like that, but it's always good for people that run across this video or a space to hear how single people react, how confident people react, how dorky people react, and how married people react. So someone can get a good understanding rather than, oh, women bad, women are bitches, women always cheat. All the time.
So much, man. Like I'm sorry, man, because I see that so much, like with the red pill shit, man. Especially the motherfuckers in the chat, man. Oh man, fuck them bitches. Yeah, they only want a nigga, 6 foot tall. Oh my god, shut up, fix yourself. Go to, you know what I'm saying? Go to the gym, fix your clothes, do your hair, nigga. Cut, you know what I'm saying? Shave, nigga.
What's that meme again? Shut. You ever see that fucking duck? And it's just that fucking hand that just closes the duck's beak, like shut your ass up. But it's been a pleasure, guys. I really appreciate you guys. Don't forget, again, when you want to have these extended conversations, we have them on Discord. The link is up there if you haven't joined. It's not too crazy active, just so we won't bug people. We know people be working and shit like that. But it is good to kind of get like the behind the scenes of what goes on with this Twitter and the podcast and stuff.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, you guys peace out. Chen, do you have time to talk after this to set up next week's show?
Yeah. Okay. Was there anything else anybody wanted to say before we close out today?
I'm gonna get some coffee after this shit. Yeah, this should be draining my brain, y'all. I'm like, damn, this thing is talking. All I'm doing is moving. I guess you know what it is.